We did it!
Yeah.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Isle of Basolean, where we fight tech issues and try to not get killed. No, this is the Isle of Basolean. This is a hardcore roguelike D&D campaign with a persistent world across multiple sessions and a very high difficulty level. My name is Dylan Wyatt, and I am your dungeon master. And I am here tonight with several of my amazing friends. If all of you wonderful people above and below me want to introduce yourselves.
Go first. Hi, I'm Hal, and I will be playing a Warforged Forge cleric named Church.
Hi, I am Jacob, and I will be playing Kakaako, the Swarm Master Ranger, with the Velociraptor Swarm.
Am I next? Hi, I'm Rage. I will be playing Caecia, Caecia Chikamonov, who is here on the island with her father, the NPC, a paladin, watcher subclass who is here to kick butt and take names, and she is not out of either of them yet.
Hi, I'm Kay. I will be playing Mo, the Tabaxi Bard.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'll be playing Conton Warmleaf, a halfling fighter who's in way over his head.
All right, and everybody give a big warm welcome to Paul, because this is his first game playing D&D. Way to jump in the deep end, buddy.
Yeah. This is gonna be fun.
That absolutely will be. A couple things before we get started. First, I just want to thank everybody who's here with us tonight for our very first episode, sharing this story with you all. We're all super excited, but kind of bear with us through any technical difficulties, because I don't know how OBS works, and I'm trying to learn on the fly. So bear with us. We'll do our best to keep things running smoothly, but at the end of the day, if we have audio, we're going to focus on you being able to hear the game more than anything else. Secondly, we all work pretty variable schedules, so sticking to an exact schedule is pretty near impossible. If you enjoy hanging out with us tonight and you're like, wow, these guys are kind of fun, and you want to watch in the future, I recommend following us on Twitch and Instagram, where we'll make announcements when we're going to go live again. And you can follow YouTube, where, we're going to do VODs and blah, 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 subscribe, etc., all that crap. Third and finally, a couple words of warning. For some of our viewers, there may be some disturbing themes in the show, such as character death and body horror, and some strong language. So maybe not kids, but you do you, man. If you want your kids to listen to that stuff, I believe in you. There will be equal measures of victory and strife, so we hope you'll stick with us. But if those things sound like a little much, we just want you guys to know in advance so it doesn't pop up on you. Is there anything anyone here wants to share?
I'm just so goddamn excited.
Dylan is the best DM of all time. Let's do it!
Yeah!
Very excited. This island is rough.
Then everybody,
Let's get killed.
saddle up and get ready for the very first episode of the Isle of Basolean. So, some of you are already on the island, and some of you have yet to make your way here. Specifically, Conton, Mordacia, and Kakoko, you guys are all on a ship. You have been hired by Richard Basolean, who is the owner of the Basolean Company, a very wealthy and powerful mercantile company, sort of the equivalent of the East India Company in our world, who has lost one of its leading members, Richard's sister, Isabella, who went missing on an island that appeared in the middle of the ocean on a full moon around 2 years ago. Around 2 weeks or so ago, it reappeared, and a new expedition was started, which has begun a foothold on the island and set up a small base of operation. You guys have sort of heard this through the grapevine and through tavern stories and whatever reasons that you have decided to make your way to the island and have found yourselves on a boat in the rain, a little colder than you would expect. The ship is relatively packed, more so than you ever would have anticipated, given what was billed as a dire, dangerous journey. And in the course of your trip, which took about 2 days, you have sort of kept to yourselves, maybe made a few acquaintances here and there, which we don't necessarily have to discuss at this moment. You guys have made your way around the southern portion of a cape, which was the first landfall that you guys had made sight of, and came around to a large bay where in the distance there was the slow rotating light of a lighthouse. Following that and finding your way to a much smaller than you would have expected, given the number of passengers, little village that is perched on a sea stack in the middle of, or near the edge of the bay. You set your first steps on the slightly rotted planks of the dock that is Basolean. You guys are led up a small embankment up to a hill as a part of the sea stack that is a ramshackle inn which has half of a roof and the rest of it covered by a tarp, has some smoke curling out of a chimney. You, using what items you have on you to try and keep dry, are told by Richard, a tall, kind of stately man whose cloak is a bit frayed at the edge and still has a good coloration to it that looks like someone wealthy who maybe has spent a little too much time outside and out of his element. Introduces himself and gives you your charge. You are to, through whatever means necessary, explore the island and find out what happened to his sister, Isabella. Now, for Caecia and Church, you guys have recently returned from a fateful expedition in which you were clearing out a barrow den and found yourself face to face with a necrolord who was raising the undead and managed to slay him, though you did, unfortunately, lose the life of one of your group members and have several close calls. You have made your way back to town, and you saw another group of individuals come up and get the customary speech from Richard, and as they all go about their business, there are 3 of them that are sort of sticking around to talk, which would be Kakwoko, Kantan, and Mordacia. What would you guys like to do?
I think Church would definitely go up to them and offer a greetings. Just introduce himself.
Absolutely. Would you like to describe your character as you walk forward towards these new unknown individuals?
You see a very, very tall and large, like brass-plated robot, for lack of a better term. He's like over 6.5 feet tall. He's very slow moving, and you can see like he's wearing like some clothing, but not a lot. And over like where his heart is, you see a what appears to be a holy symbol of a and hammer. But he goes up, he gives like a bow, and he says, "Welcome to the island. I am available if any of your healing needs. You may call me Church."
He sits there and there's a slight plinking sound as the rain hits off of his metal exterior.
Wow.
He's like the only person here that's not shivering.
Yeah, everybody else is like either wrapped up in cloaks and they do the whole thing where they they have their cloak over them and they kind of look at you and then they kind of just go back to whatever they're doing. But Church seems very friendly.
Making his way, struggling off the boat up the somewhat steep hill from down where the harbor is up to where you're standing, holding 2 almost like oversized suitcases. You see struggling against them a diminutive blonde-haired halfling. And as you get closer to him, you can resolve more finely. These 2 large suitcases that he's struggling with are actually more like animal kennels. And in each one you see passing over the top of each other and squirming and is in a large pile. Velociraptors make up the entire contents of both of the suitcases that Kaka'ako carries. Other than a small bag on his back, he has brought naught. but velociraptors to the Isle of Basolean.
Bold choice.
Would you like assistance?
Oh yes, absolutely. He sets one of them down and then extends an arm straight up. Kako. Oh, you can call me Kako.
He like with 3 fingers, he shakes the hand.
The buddy shakes a little bit, and then I heft one of these up and says, "Be very careful," naming off 5 velociraptors and quick attributes about each of them, as if about to depart from a babysitter. Says, here, take this one, and be careful for her. And then goes about holding his other little crate behind you.
Urge kind of like looks inside for like a solid like 10 seconds, like almost counting them and trying to figure out which one was which, and then gives up and follows the halfling.
As far as anybody with anything less than a true animal handling background goes, they are all completely identical. Maybe you are never able to define any of the individual velociraptors.
I'm gonna need 3 quick names from you right now.
3,
I agree.
Tycho, and
Tycho.
Bronson.
I love it.
Love it.
If you would like, you may rest inside of the church next to my living situation. It is quite dry.
As he gestures over, it's essentially the only building that is not ramshackle. It actually appears, though it is not of great make, it's primarily made of wood, but it truly has fairly well-kept walls, a little bit of moss, a little bit of weathering, still shingles on the roof, and a tower that goes up about to where a second floor would be, which is fairly impressive given the surroundings. Next to it is a forge that sits where smoke kind of billows onwards from, and then as you're looking further towards the right near the edge of the cliff that leads down, looks over the harbor, you see the lighthouse that is constantly spinning with its beam sort of trying to pierce through the surrounding rain and fog.
I guess I will follow Church's lead. Caecia, who she and her dad have set up like shop nearby the church. Oh, that's Kirsty on there. Hello, Kirsty. Hello, Father. Caecia likes to hang out around this building now that we've cleared out all of the creepy crawlies and the undead people from it. So she comes kind of parkouring down the side where she was definitely not slacking off on mining granite like she was supposed to be doing, to see who the newcomers are. And maybe because she also was looking for church and has bent yet another shovel. That may need fixing.
None of you have ever seen a robot sigh before until now. But he does.
Did he record an approximation of a sigh? Just to do it properly?
Probably.
Caecia sees the velociraptor, spends like a quick minute like trying to peer into a cage, and then quickly goes to try and find who of the newcomers looks like the most professional to introduce herself to.
Define professional, as in professional adventurer, or
more like professionally deserving of a military salute.
You're not seeing a lot of that. There's a lot of ragtag here. There's not between the only people on this island that you in your mind would go, you're definitely deserving of a military salute, are probably you and Sota, the half-orc fighter who you've worked with in the past and has helped you with some of the building. And then of course your old man, but other than that, it's a lot of people that you're kind of going, is this really the next wave?
Yeah, okay, so seeing the halfling skitter by, and then whoever else she sees among these newcomers, if you could describe appearances, I think she spends a moment just kind of looking around, like ready to just like, is anyone in charge? Where did you all come from again?
Oh, and Caecia, what do you look like?
Oh, Caecia. Right. So she is a strapping, tall, 6 foot, something, 6'1". Totally shredded. Looks like long black hair, kind of perpetually wind tussled and in a ponytail. She's wearing her kind of half gladiator-esque paladin armor. Good for dexterous vigilante work. And definitely peeping some Batman vibes, but with a little bit of a wolf flavor, as she has a sort of Skyrim-esque silver wolf helmet, like metal wolf helmet, that she flips up to look at people when she's done practicing her spells atop the church.
So, Content this whole time has just been, ever since he got off the boat, has just been kind of like in awe. Even though he's shivering, he's kind of like, this is it, this is my moment. He's like looking around, and like upon seeing Church walk up, as well as a halfling with 3 velociraptors, his mind is just completely locked on. He's never seen a warborn before, and is immediately just trying to see every bit he can. He's like looking around. He hasn't even introduced himself. He's kind of almost like rudely like just staring at this crazy situation before him, and just trying to find like kind of an instance though to like kind of insert himself and like introduce himself, but can't really seem to find it amongst like this just like whole group of this.
What do you look like, Content?
Oh, he's Content's a pretty well stout build halfling. He's got short, unkempt brown hair, and he's muscular, but not in like a militaristic, like, oh, he's been fighting his whole life. He looks like a farmer who's worked the fields for a while, who happened to find like a sword and shield and pick them up and go out. He doesn't have any scars or anything like that, but he's pretty well toned, but in general he seems a little bit like just kind of not unruly, but more so like just someone who's been out in the fields for most of his life, who has just recently gotten to this kind of world.
Country bumpkin.
Yes, a country bumpkin is a great word for it.
We're batting 2 for 2 on Shorty Squad here.
Oh God, we've got like over 6 foot and then tiny
Squad.
All right, Content. Did I say con right?
Yeah.
Okay, like content, but without the T. I'll raise you one on the looking around spectrum, and Caecia's totally only for flavor. Oh no, totally not just for flavor, but in fact proficiency in stealth, accidentally, mind you, for flavor. A voice appears behind your head to say welcome, and then where did you all come from again? She has accidentally been very stealthy in coming to greet the newcomers.
Yeah, you've been so caught up by the fact that there's a giant metal man in front of you that you've never seen before, that then you hear this behind you and you're like, wow, and then you hear the voice behind you and just spin around, and there Caecia is standing there, not looking threatening, just very nonchalant.
And just for the record, Church has a -1 to stealth, so.
Oh yeah, you can hear him.
Really,
clank
he's really,
around.
really not stealthy at all. He's so slow.
You could hear him when you came off the boat.
Tunk, tunk, tunk.
As Church walks his way back up to the church, he continues to hear the prattle on and on in his mind of Kairo's silent speech telepathically within 30 feet, continuing to list babysitter information about each of the velociraptors.
Is he assuming that the Iron Giant is just going to take care of the velociraptors? like
just like a really fretful person just briefly handing over custody of a pet and just like, and make sure you don't, but like not necessarily expecting that this is going to be an ongoing thing. Just so attentive.
So
Church does not. Church is just filing this away as yet another thing weird flesh bags can do. And he is not reacting at all to the weird telepathic speech.
In the meantime, there has been a furry individual to sort of the back of the group. What have you been doing, Morticia? Hello?
Uh-oh.
I think
There you go. You were muted.
Yeah.
Oh no, I still can't hear her.
We can't hear you, Kay.
Mike.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
It's
I can
very
hear
quiet.
you.
It's quiet. It's quiet.
Just super faint.
It's really
so
quiet. It's really faint.
You're so quiet.
Batting 3 for 3 for this small squad.
Wait.
You make something with a ragtag person paying attention. Imagine a child is a ghost costume. Mo has taken parts of a tail and thrown it over herself and cut little eye holes so that not injured by this rain. And heard Church mention a rye place, and there's just a white little ghost making a beeline for the church. There is a tail that is sticking out in a very Halloween-esque shell, black and orange floppy tail of its own accord. There's a little pot of it. You have to grab it and pull it back under, but no matter how hard you
Can I be in arm's reach? Oh, I believe the newcomers are not aware that after all of the bullshit we've dealt with so far, we have a no mask policy here on the island. Everybody has to be divine sense.
Anti-maskers.
Yeah. Okay, no undeads, no fiends, no celestials. If allowed, Caecia, seeing the pitter-patter of little feet and possibly getting that sense of tortoiseshell feline, would like to go and scruff the little Halloween getup to be like, state your business. I'd love to do that. Oh man, which one of these is stats? Think this is stats. Oh, my dex and strength are the same.
So that was a natural 20. First roll of the game, natural 20. Good job, guys. Well done, well done.
Woo, let's go.
Doesn't
Oh,
get
boy.
past me.
So you're...
honestly don't even really want to roll against this. This is a natural 20.
technically, I was gonna say as a grapple, but yeah, since you're not, it's not your physical body to fight back. You're just like, oh, I'm so sneaky. Oh, my tail. Oh, I'm so sneaky. Oh, my tail. Oh, my, and then you're in the rain.
Oh,
Yoink. I am not trying to pull it off. More so, in the flavor of someone trying to scruff a kitten/small child, and
So in that
hold
case,
them
I
back
will
for
say,
appraisal.
make, you need to make a dexterity. How does it work? Dexterity. You have to make a strength check, and Morticia needs to make either an athletics or an acrobatics check against each other. Because while you definitely grab, this is whether you get sheet or whether you get scruff.
Ooh.
9 plus 8.
+8.
you could have very well beaten that.
What did you get?
Oh,
Caecia?
am I
Yeah,
I'm
roll
rolling
a athletics
dexterity.
check. It's roll athletics because you got to hold.
17?
So, it is. I would say that this is meet or beat. So, while you scruff, Morticia, it's only for a moment before she skitters out of your hand. But you definitely have the sheet in your hand, and so you are now in the rain.
Can I conversely offer something else?
Sure.
As someone
What the hell?
It's it's hard to tell what is
how small
calico,
is
what is
small?
sheet.
Yeah,
How small is small? Is she like a cat or like a tabaxi cat?
Tabaxi. So her mother was a full tabaxi, her father was a gnome, and so she is a beautiful 3 feet 5 inches.
That's so cute.
It's half my size. Oh man. Caecia tries not to be two-faced. She is wearing, some gauntlets. She's got a little bit of that. She had the sense that perhaps it was feline, and as she lifts her arm up so that Morta, how do you say your name again?
Oh,
Morticia? Is it
Jessia.
Mordecia? Mordecia can now, closer up, see the sort of black silhouetted ears in the metal wolf helmet turn and fix on her, like real ears would. And Caecia says, "State your business," but much more surprised than she would like to let on.
Business is to be dry.
Okay, get off, go,
It's gonna
church.
release, drop, and keep shuffling.
Oh my god.
Church is like holding the temple door open, waiting for everyone.
Yeah, in your perspective, you're here like holding the door, and
With like
you're getting
a
rained
big
on.
a case of velociraptors holding the door, watching that.
Yeah, one or two of the claws is like come around the grate a little bit, and so it's like not badly, but like you got a couple of scratches on your hand, and you're just like,
I'm gonna have to bust that out.
Caecia's first order of business is looking around to see if perhaps there is anyone that looks like they brought their pet cat to the island. Maybe didn't register immediately that this is perhaps another adventurer to Boxy.
well, the logical thing would be the man who just handed over a bunch of velociraptors.
Yeah, she kind of like, is that your cat?
No, these are mine. Points to the K, points over towards church. I don't know anything about her. She seems small on the boat, but not mine.
Where did you guys come from? Why are you here?
Perhaps this
Oh.
discussion would be better out of the rain.
Ah, the rain builds character.
Please come inside, Caecia. Your father would not be pleased if you were to catch a cold.
I bring my little coat into the church.
Church, I train in the rain. Dad doesn't even know. He wasn't even there. Fine. Again, good team. Here we go.
Know how many 80s montages have been recreated. No!
I heard 80s montage.
That's all you need.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tiny bit better.
A little bit better.
Little bit better. Okay, let me mess with some things.
Do not
Was
mind
that
him.
there before?
Yes, it was.
Who was it?
It was the guy in the mirror. Remember? Oh my
I think I
god.
missed this episode.
Church will kind of be like, do not mind him. He means you no harm.
looks, turns his head, cocks it to the side, and then just goes back to looking at the fire.
So, Contin, who was super excited at first upon seeing an undead, he was kind of like grabbing his sword, like, "Oh, this is my chance! I'll prove myself." And then upon hearing Church's don't mind him, kind of like dejected, takes his hand off and looks to it and asks, "Are we gonna get any context on that?"
From what I understand, he was a member of the original expedition to this island, the only survivor, though I do not believe that is quite the accurate word.
When Contin's kind of super excited to hear how ominous that sounded, ooh, only survivor. He's kind of super excited. He just kind of chuckle, kind of giddy, giggles to himself, yes, this is it. This is it. He's just really.
By the way, DM, is there a sheet covered thing in this church? If memory serves, there's something in the church that is covered in a sheet
near the far back.
Yep.
Yes,
all right.
There should be.
That's still there. Good to know.
The
Hal,
flat
I'm gonna
object
need a
against the wall.
refresher on what all these things are.
I'll
Caecia, but I do not remember what these
I'll
things
DM
are.
you.
Okay. Caecia canonically has just been zoned out. She didn't take notes. Sorry, Teach. Don't call on me.
That's alright. Every time you forget something, it just adds 1 to the monster's AC, that's all.
Hey, you.
Oh, good.
No, so as you guys get inside, you can hear the almost very pleasant sound of rain on a roof. And you are offered, there's a couple of other individuals in there. There's a very sort of large, but sort of thick, large gentleman who seems to have some very similar features to Caecia, who walks around with some bowls of what looks like a stew and offers them. And introduces himself. I am Kisti. I see you have met my daughter. I am very proud. Welcome to this island. And then he silently goes on his way.
Thanks. Does it always rain like this?
Yes.
There are some good days. And some bad days.
Gotcha. Where do most people stay here? Looks like you guys got 5 buildings. How does that work?
Just as a point of order, you did see a couple of tents on the way out, on the way in that were placed. But so I'll ask the question: if you want, you can sleep in the church, in the inn, though it still leaks. You could sleep on the ship if it is there, or you can sleep in a tent, or if it pleases you, you can sleep in the elements. Whatever you would like.
I feel pretty at home on the coast. I won't say I've never slept on a beach, but at least a tent on the beach is more my speed.
Then just be wary for the tide. When it rises, much of the beach is underwater. Stay above the tide line.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I
He
don't
goes back
think it's
to
a
Layla.
very good idea for you to sleep anywhere outside on this island. We've had some undue visitors. I don't know, we're still setting up here. I think you should all just sleep right here, right in the church. Sleep inside where we can keep an eye on all of you.
The security of our outpost does require more refinement.
What visitors have you guys been getting?
Unfriendly ones.
Yeah, not great ones.
Describe them.
No. Eat your food.
Well, no matter what they are, I'm sure I could deal with them. Not like they'd be a challenge to one as incredible as me.
Casey just
Church?
looks at you.
The church gives him the exact same look.
It's a comedic, at the exact same time, Mo and Kako watch them both just turn. And they look at each other, and then Casey goes, "The creature that attacked us, it looked like it was once a man, but was swollen and bulbous, and he shudders for a moment, and you see he's set down the bowl, and he reaches into his pocket, and it's almost like how someone bites their nails. He's sort of rubbing something between his fingers, and he takes a bite of it real quick. How many of you have a passive perception above 14?
Oh, me.
Maybe?
Definitely me.
I mean,
You see that it's some of the white chalk that you guys have kept around sometimes for like marking in the building. And he just sort of is like chewing on the edge of a piece of chalk.
Oh god, Dad's going crazy.
And
don't
this
say
is the
that
first
out
time,
loud.
Casey, this is the first time you've noticed this. You've never seen your dad do this before.
Christy, I can't advise chewing on non-edible materials.
He sort
It
of
is not good for your digestion.
he looks down at it, almost like that you brought it up. It's like odd to him. You're right. This is not. He's sort of shaking his head and looks perturbed. Puts it into his pocket and wipes it off on his apron. I'm sorry. I need potato stew. Anybody? And sort of-
Yeah. I want potato stew.
He passes it out to all that are interested.
Thanks.
I do not require sustenance.
I know you do not require church, but would you like some?
I would like to try some.
You taste some, and the warmth is nice. That's more than anything else. The warmth does actually sort of warm up the metal a little bit, and that's kind of nice.
Do you
So-
require for sustenance?
Huh?
Church, what do you require for sustenance?
I would like to know that as well.
He kind of places like 3 fingers on his like over his heart where his holy symbol is. And is like, I am not completely sure, but I imagine it has to do with my god.
At this, Conten's like super interested. Like, ooh, may I ask more about this god?
Church like he doesn't have very super like strong facial expression, but you do see him kind of give a smile, like the closest thing you've seen to him smiling uh since you've met him. He mostly looks kind of either curious or exasperated. But he kind of smiles and says, "Yes, I worship Vulcan, the god of the forge. He found me, gave me purpose, encouraged me to find a place for myself in this world."
Content. Oh, sorry. If I. Oh, okay. So upon hearing like the name of like this god that he's like hasn't really heard very much of, or if at all, like Conten's like super interested. Is like, so what is it like that Vulcan can do? Like, what powers does he have? Like, he's just kind of interested in like the silly
If you
stuff about it.
If you would like a demonstration, I can certainly offer one.
Content just eagerly nods his head, like seeing something this cool is like.
What is your weapon? May I see it?
Oh, it's nothing much, and he like kind of dramatically draws his sword. He's like, huh, just a little something I picked up. He's clearly trying to overplay what it is, and he hands it over.
Can I examine it? Like, how beat up is this thing? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how beat up is this thing?
0.
3. Yeah, 0. Yeah,
0 to 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
not
perfect.
hardly at all. Like there's a bit in like the actual guard. There's a tiny chip there, and there's a small chip in the actual blade itself, and it looks like the first coat of oil from the blacksmith might have worn off by now, but that's it.
And it's just a short sword?
Longsword.
It's a long sword.
Yeah.
Okay. Church is gonna retrieve some of the iron ore they got. And then he's going to trigger his artisan's blessing. And over the course of an hour, without a forge, without any heat source or anything, he's going to combine the sword with the iron ore and basically create a super intricate handguard.
That's awesome. That's perfect.
Like it doesn't change the blade at all, but it just makes the handguard look super fancy.
What's aesthetically happening here? Is this like a sword wallower and then pulls it out and it's got a cool hilt, or like what are we talking about here?
He kind of like
So cool.
he kind of like
Yeah, I know. I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
he basically takes a big chunk of iron ore and the sword, and he like forms you see like almost a bubble of warmth and heat radiating from Church's heart, where the holy symbol is, once he begins the ritual. And over the course of it, you see both the crossguard of the longsword and the iron ore both heat up. Like you see them slowly glow, like getting warmer and warmer and heating up until they're like both red hot. And with his hands, you see Church peel away the old handguard and then start to mold the iron ore with the old guard into something incredibly intricate and beautiful, and then wraps it around the sword. And after 1 hour passes, you see the heat get sucked out of the handguard, so you see it fading back into its normal color and pallor and temperature, but you can almost see the heat being drawn out of it into Church's chest. And after 1 hour, he presents the sword to you.
Content takes the sword, and like in his eyes, it looks like all of his wildest dreams have been fulfilled. He's like, well, finally a sword to match my valor in battle. Yes, a name it should have. I'll have to think on that. Perhaps Legend Killer. No. Well, I'll think upon that, but thank you. You've truly made a sword worthy of a hero. And he like puts it, he like dramatically tries to do like a sword spin, but kind of like stumbles and then like kind of like puts the sword away and is still just kind of looking at the hilt while it's still in the scabbard. Just like kind of like a kid who just got a new plastic toy.
I want to see this guy in action.
Church is very proud of himself.
That's a big guy.
I just want to watch.
But yeah, Church clarifies. He's like, this was merely a demonstration of creativity and example. However, I can create most tools and basic weaponry with this ability without the need for a full forge. Simply the raw materials is enough.
By seeing this alone, I can tell that your prowess is truly unparalleled. It could even match mine. Well, it is a pleasure to meet you, good sir, or friend.
Church kind of gives a nod.
We do
How
stand
day is
church.
it at this point?
I'm in the chat. I stand
How,
church.
what is it?
What time of day is it right now? Is it a get out there and adventure time of day? Is it a sleep up and then go
It's getting quite late. The sun is, it was hard to tell exactly what time it was based on just the overcast, kind of, hard to tell between noon and 3 p.m. But it's starting to become darker. So you can pretty readily assume that at the very least you're heading towards about 7, 8 p.m.
How many nests would you say you all have around here? With the gesture to my many velociraptors.
Nests?
Nests.
None.
I do not think we have any nests around here, small one. There is the old funhouse building. That there's lots of wood that is available.
Wood at the funhouse. I'll have to go check that out. I like fun. We like fun.
Take a
With
partner.
that, you guys see for the first time a sign of some kind of sapience in the velociraptors, which, as Kako kind of nods, they all nod excitedly in turn.
Wait, are those people too?
They're my raptors. We're a family.
I believe they are his, I believe you call them pets.
Yes.
With that,
Please
he
give
nods,
a nod
and again, all the velociraptors.
It's an odd thing to see a small halfling standing next to velociraptors that are about probably a fifth of his size, full of 2 cages, just going, but that is what you guys see. To your excitement or slight horror, or both.
Kurt is kind of going to lean over to Caecia and be like, is it normal for one to have such control over their animals?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Across the
This
room,
is-
you guys see there's this individual who has this sort of sweeping blonde hair who actually had come along with you guys. You guys didn't talk with them much. Sort of in like this undercut, sweeps over on the blonde hair towards the side. Has kind of like this soft olive skin, very soft features. They kind of come over and kind of wave to all of you. Hi, I'm Alex. These are fascinating. Do you mind if I take a look at them? So
Not a problem.
they sort of bend over and look, and then with a little wave of their hand, you see this sort of bit of energy move over and pull a chunk of potato out of the soup and move it over towards and in front of one of the raptors and sort of dangles it there.
The raptor turns its head and looks at Kaka'ako, who nods, and then it jumps up for it.
They sort of wave their hand and they're laughing with like their hand got over their chest. These are amazing. Are these yours? How are they a conjuration? And you notice that they have begun to sort of pull in their pack while they're talking to you, and are unrolling this small bit of what's like paper or something like that, and then pull out this intricate looking paintbrush, and they mutter a word and then start like painting as they're talking to you in front of these raptors.
Kako walks up behind one of the raptors and says, I'm an archaeologist by trade. I've made it my life's passion to study monsters, abyssals, aberrations, anything like that. And during my studies, I stumbled upon these marvelous beasts. Coming up behind one and pulling on her cheek, see, they're very real. He like takes one's arm and like goes like this with it. Very, very real. No conjurations here. These are true creatures of the land. Out of character, nobody is ever quite sure how many velociraptors Kako has. There is not a set finite amount of them. It's something like 4 to 8, but it is not a consistent amount. So the preposition that they are fully real velociraptors seems a little sus to you. But he insists in game, these are real true beasts of the land that I have seen and found in my studies.
Can Church make an insight check?
Church absolutely can make an insight check. In the meantime, Alex has seemed to cross their
18.
legs and 18?
Yeah.
What are you trying to insight and glean from them?
I want to know if Kako is telling the truth about things being real and that he just found them.
Go
That
ahead.
seems something like branding more so than a lie. But these are not, I found them in the woods, velociraptors.
Okay. Okay.
He has a good heart. He's not lying to you because, out of any kind of malice.
I don't think Church knows the difference at this point in his life.
It's
But I will, earlier than the rest of the Falcon, I will go ahead and take my leave. Not
and not too far away from places, but as close to the coast as I can. I'm gonna go dig out with if there's like a small tent I can use, and all my velociraptors are gonna dig small little nests beside me. But I'm early to sleep, and I leave the rest of the folk to talk.
Sounds good. As you're sort of packing up, Alex is like, oh, do you mind if you wait for just a moment more? I was just about to try and get the details I want, and then I can replicate all the rest of them. I just do you really quick, and you see they reach into the bag and pull out what all of you immediately recognize just by like the runes on it. You're like, oh, that's a spell book, and then they set it down and open it up, and it's just these bits of like these little wells of pigment, and you see that they dip their brush into a couple of different pigments and sort of swirl it, and the color of the brush changes, and then they make a couple of quick marks. Okay, great, perfect. Thank you so much, and it's great to meet all of you. I am also going to go to bed. And they pack everything up and sort of take the soup and sort of go off into the outside. Anything any of the rest of you would like to do this evening?
Sus. That guy's sus. Caecia, briefly, before Dad Kisty, gets too far back to the family forge tent area, kind of tags along and is like, hey, Dad, I just wanna, and she, like, just spins some bullshit, like, did you, like, need help with anything? But she's, like, low-key trying to catch a glimpse of his, that thing that was in his pocket, which is just eating chalk, we all know. But, his rosary, or I guess he doesn't use a rosary,
They're prayer beads,
paladin
essentially. Yeah.
thing, his little paladin focus thing. Just trying to catch a glimpse of it, and not that she would mention this to him, but she's just trying to make sure it's still silver or whatever normal color it's supposed to be. Just making sure, just checking on that, making sure there's no funky shit going on with it.
So make either a perception or insight check. Your choice.
I think I'm going to go with
Go for it.
It is a 6.
You're not sure. He is not trying to readily hide it from you, so you see a flash of it, and it looks silver to you, but you're not sure exactly. You're about 70-80% sure.
Okay, cool. I'll be back. I'm just gonna go pray. Yeah. And she heads back to the church to, like, do another head count of everyone that's staying there that night. And, I guess, if it's about bedtime, then she wanted to give everyone a quick heads up that here on this island, newcomers, we're working together against all of the strange things that have happened. So please be aware, we're using the buddy system. Please take a buddy, a non-pet buddy, with you, even if you're just going to other places in the settlement. Thank you. And listen to church. Church is in charge of the church. Okay, good talk. Everybody sleep in the building.
As she leaves, Church kind of looks around and goes, I believe technically this is a temple.
Everybody sleep inside. Okay?
Church is not gonna sleep inside. But
No. Well, church knows. She sort of gives a nod and like makes as if her sleeping place is going to be, in fact, back outside up on the roof.
Church is kind of just gonna watch her go and just be thinking, that girl is going to catch a cold. And then is going to kind of go around and just help make people comfortable. Like,
Sure.
get them anything they need. Answer any questions he can about the building itself. Just because he's been the church has been one of the temple's been one of his projects. Like that's something
Mhm.
he's been repairing. And but yeah, if anyone wants any help with anything, because he doesn't need as much sleep as everyone else does, so he can stay up and help with things.
Yep. You also go and check in with someone who you know, the Water Genasi girl who's been here for. They arrived a couple of days, or she arrived a couple days after you. And you see her there. She has a couple of like these little implements that she's sort of spinning on the ground, and then like almost like a top and like a set of dice and like something like that. And they're all. It looks completely nonsensical. And then when they all fall down, she goes, "Hey, church, just so you know, looks sunny tomorrow." Gives you a big smile, and then picks up the stuff, puts it in her bag, and goes over to her cot.
Church nods like with the confidence of like someone just receiving a genuine weather forecast.
Yep.
Like he's just kind of nods and moves on.
All right. Anything else anyone would like to do before they sleep?
What
I cast
content?
alarm.
You cast alarm. All right.
Caecia from her Dad Kirsty probably knows because I'm fairly sure he has taught her about tent pinching and stuff. But church, if you've noticed, Caecia's project within the temple / church is she has a little hideout up on top, highest point that she can get to on the building on the island. Where it's kind of like a treehouse, but more professional, she would like to assume. And it's where she's been, like a watchtower, and she's been using it to practice casting alarm on the doors of the temple, specifically when she can get most of the people that have been sleeping in tents to sleep inside the temple. And she's getting pretty good at it, I might say. So, not tonight, but many other nights you've heard her cast the audible alarm sound, where you hear a ding every time somebody who is not approved, a creature, what is it? Tiny or larger creature touches or enters the worded area. So yeah.
Yes. Content gets up. He kind of stretches. Yes, I suppose some rest will do us all good. He's kind of almost he's a little full of himself, and says, "And since I hear we're using this buddy system, I would like to let everyone know that I will be accepting all comers. You would be grateful to have someone as experienced as me at your side." And he kind of struts off to a tent, and as he's laying down, he can kind of sleep well, but there's a rock under him, and he can't really ever. He's kind of having a hard time getting settled in, but he's trying to make it look like he knows what he's doing around a tent.
When we came in, there was a lighthouse. Is that correct?
There was, yes, there was.
Fantastic. During this time, Mo has been kind of doing a little reconnaissance, looking around, seeing who's around, and then is definitely wanting to check out the lighthouse to see if it's empty on the inside, where that could be a little hideout that is not a tent.
Sure. I can't remember. Did you guys designate anyone as a lighthouse keeper?
No, but I helped build the thing, so
So did I.
I'm trying to pull double duty here.
Church is happy to take shifts as a lighthouse keeper.
Sure. So it seems like there's kind of this, whomever's there. Oh no, you know what? I remember who the lighthouse keeper was. The NPC you guys killed.
That doesn't help us much.
So, the Phoenix Sorceress. Yeah, her.
Church is happy to take over for that until we can find a replacement.
Sure. And so.
Well, if the next time Church walks into the lighthouse, there will be a little hammock that's strung up over in, not necessarily a corner, because there's no corners on the cylinder, you guys, but a little edge has been taken up with a hammock. If you walk in, Mo would love to pepper you with questions.
As he walks in to take his nightly watch duties for the lighthouse, and sees that you've kind of jerry-rigged a little hammock in one of the areas. That does not look comfortable. It just doesn't. Church will kind of like pause and then pull from his little pouch like 3 or 4 nails, like the big ones, and is like, "There are much more comfortable places to hang your hammock in this lighthouse. Would you like help?"
I would love help. You are so helpful. I saw what you did to the sword that our friend had. I would absolutely appreciate some help.
Yeah, he pulls out a hammer too, and he'll basically find a narrow area of the lighthouse pretty high up there and just ting ting, like just hang out the hammock in a proper way.
Thank you so much. Is there anything that I can help you with? What are you doing on the island?
He kind of thinks and is like, "I am looking for a place for myself."
Well, this is a place, and I can see how you are integral to the running of this place.
Kind of like thinks for a second on that statement and kind of shrugs.
How long have you been on this place?
I was on the first boat.
And how long ago was that?
2 weeks, right?
15 days.
It's only been 2 weeks.
It's
It has been 15 days and 18 hours.
Time really flies when you have a robot building stuff.
I mean, yeah, a whole lighthouse in 15 days. This is amazing.
Now, when we say lighthouse, I just want to make sure that I clarify. This is not like a 16-foot tall crazy thing. This is a 2-story sort of square octagonal shaped building with a lighthouse thing, like a sort of mirror and fire setup on the top that has sort of like an overhang. This is not like the Great Lighthouse of Alexandria. It's ramshackle, but it performs its function. It does a great job doing what it's supposed to do, but it's not like you literally have to go outdoors and climb a ladder to get up to the top.
Brilliant. Amazing.
Just to clarify. All right, anything else anyone would like to do in the evening? If not, as you go to sleep in the night, those of you who are used to being here know what awaits you in sleep.
Yeah.
Those of you who it's your first time here, you have these odd dreams where for some of you you're just constantly running and feeling like you're being chased, but you can't look back. You know you can't look back. If you look back, it'll get you. You can't look back. For some of you, it's that feeling when you look over the edge of a cliff, but it's like it's intoxicating. You can't not look. And you fall and you fall and you fall, and then right before you hit the rocks, you wake up at the top of a cliff. These awful dreams and visions run through your mind the whole night. I need everyone to make your first madness save. It's a wisdom saving throw.
I have disadvantage.
You do. Is that from one of the previous quirks?
It's from this. Why did I do it? It's from this idol that I got that I tuned to that boosted my wisdom, and yet it gives me disadvantage on
The
madness
Idol of the
roll.
Past Night. Yes, it is.
How do I make the just really quickly? I'm roll 20. How do I make a wisdom save specifically on a character? Do I just click on their thing in the character sheet?
You click on the wisdom save one.
Under saving throws, near the top left of your character, but it's not just on the wisdom skill. Under saving throws, it's its own header in the second column.
Oh no, Caecia.
Oh no, Caecia.
I rolled a
Casey got
16
spotted.
with disadvantage.
All right.
That's all right. Everybody, for the most part, you're able to sleep through these visions. But Caecia, something about the way that your dad ate that chalk haunts you. It gets into the back of your mind in an awful way, and you gain a point of madness. How many points of madness
do
are
I
you at?
need before I get a prize? I've got 4 points.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Been really lucky.
For everyone watching, this is one of the main components of the island that it will slowly test the sanity of everyone that's here. And given enough madness points accumulated through different stressors such as death saving throws, and things like that, or certain creatures, they will develop potential problems, like pica, or other things that could be better or worse. And with that, let's take a break so people can go to the bathroom. We'll be back here in about 10 minutes, guys.
It's good.
Yay.
And we're back. Did you miss us? So, in the morning when you guys wake up, things seem to be fine. It's actually quite clear. And as the early morning fog begins to burn off, there's sun overhead, and seems that it will be a pleasant day. You all convene. Oh, and point of order. Because you all took part in Kisti's evening meal, you all gain, I believe it would be 4 temporary hit points.
That's what the 10 hit points were from.
We love temporary hit points.
Potatoes, you guys.
3 points. Also in the morning, Kakaako brings you all raw eggs.
Oh, I actually will eat those.
These raw eggs, while potentially off-putting, as he tells you, these are very, very delectable. These are unfertilized velociraptor eggs.
I was gonna
For
ask.
you.
I'm like, are you eating your kids?
Church is gonna pass.
Casey's
These
just
are
like holding one.
unfertilized Goodberry velociraptor eggs. One for everybody. He passed them out to the whole group. They're delicious, he says. Be sure to give the yolk a good finger
Should
lick.
I eat it now or hold on to it?
There's you want, it'll fill you up for an entire day. It's rich, it's got a yolky texture, it's fantastic. But if you find your friends down, if you find yourself down, just crack an egg on them, and it's enough to bring someone back into the fighting spirit. So perhaps we should keep some for now, but to those of you more prone to getting hungry on the trail, maybe one now would not be the worst.
Mo eats it. Just bites in, sucks the yolk out.
Bites through the
See,
eggshell.
My dilemma. My dilemma is that Caecia prides herself on self-control, but she is a carnivore.
2 problems.
I think
Kakaako if Kakaako gets any sense of this through passive insight, he hands you 2.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. She just like a protein shake, just. Small price to pay for protein.
A small price to pay.
Church is
For the
gonna
gains.
Church is gonna tuck his in his pouch, like looking a little befuddled.
Content's
Maybe
gonna
we should-
do the same.
Maybe we should commission Church to make some little egg holders so that none of us accidentally just oh, it's in my bag. Ah, shit.
Bandolier of
egg.
eggs.
I could actually do that.
That'd be pretty funny.
I could do that.
I mean, useful. It would be pretty useful. Like a yield iron egg carton.
Coming to stores near you.
Yeah.
All right, what do you guys? So you did notice, and you were pointed out to by both Church and by Caecia, the notice board near the center of town that had a couple of things on it, which were one that said, "Map out the forested hills to the west, 50 gold on completion." One of which said that, quote, "I'd love some information on the tower to the north. It looks like a Lichtag wizard tower. It's odd that one would be here unless there's a mage that was here before us. I can't offer money, but I'm happy to trade information for identifications or other spells." Signed, Alex. And then in the least, I would say, calligraphic of any of those notes, there's "We'll make javelins for petty cash, Sota."
Yeah, that tracks.
I already have all the javelins that we'll need.
We made a ton, didn't we?
I think you guys made quite a few, yes.
Yeah. Caecia came here with some javelins, but she'll never turn down some extra javelins.
Mm-hmm.
They're good to have for throwing and stuff.
And don't forget that you guys can post on this notice board for anything that you may need. In case you are not able to make a session, you can request things, you can have people do fetch quests and pay them. Do whatever.
I can question for the DM.
Of course.
Does Church if I made some cartographer's tools, is there anyone on the island that could actually use them?
Do any of you guys have any background or skills involving cartography?
I do not.
Really? Mo?
I would say it sounds like both Mo and Kaka'ako could be potential candidates.
No need to make tools, though. I brought my own.
Okay.
There
Okay
you
then.
go.
Then Church will not need to. But if we need another set, he can also duplicate things.
That's wonderful.
Okay. Are we down to go map out a forest?
Yes, it would seem to me that would be a fine place to begin this grand adventure of ours.
Where are you from again?
Oh, just a humble, small farm off in a place you probably wouldn't know.
Sounds humble.
Indeed. He's kind
Or
of
we-
embarrassed about it. He wished it was more like Content kind of wishes it sounds more extravagant, but he doesn't really want to lie about it. So he's just kind of embarrassing, it's not much.
Caecia gives him an up down. She, takes note of his general appearance that you described, the country bumpkin-esque. Does the sword not seem to fit, or does it seem like maybe it is a family heirloom that he has taken with him, or is it like a country bumpkin and sword that he got from somewhere else?
It looks like a sword that was freshly bought from the first blacksmith that you could see. He went into a town and quickly bought a sword as soon as he made it to a town. It doesn't look very special, besides of course the
New handle.
the new handguard that it just got. That's very nice looking.
You see Caecia as she is getting ready to go with the adventuring party out in the forest, is strapping on her definitely high-end from a kind of inflated military household specially commissioned paladin and training armor that for the purposes of the game is what is it? I think it's breastplate armor. I have to check her sheet. But you know, it's pretty serious stuff, and she is hefting a sort of pack of serious-looking smithed javelins, and strapping 2 sickle swords onto her like waist guard.
Content like watches all of this, and he kind of looks down as his sword and his like little shield and just basic chainmail that he's wearing. His basic chainmail that he's wearing. He's kind of like he like clears his throat, like he like adjusts the chainmail, trying to look like puffing his chest out to make himself look big.
You guys do also have access to the communal adventuring gear before you go, where there are quite a few things.
Oh God,
in
where's
there.
that list?
I will post it for you.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot that I have a pike. I have a +1 pike.
You get that?
Armed to the teeth, jeez.
It's
It's a
in my
classic armory
inventory.
scene. You're pulling them out. You're pulling them out. This is Rage in every game I've ever played with her. She's always got like she's completely strapped with like 30 weapons.
It goes under her cloak, pulls out like a buster sword, like what the?
She is strapped at all times, but you see her, she just like she thinks to herself like, should I? And then she like parkours back up like the side of the temple, and then comes down from her hideout with like she like throws a pike down into the ground, and then like lands right next to it, Superman style, and then picks it up as like this massive +1
Make
pike.
an acrobatics check real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. What is it?
You
12.
You throw the pike down and you jump, and you realize your trajectory is making you head right for the pike. So you actually have to like awkwardly kind of shift a little bit in the air. You manage to land. It's fine. You don't take any damage, but it's not nearly as cool as you were hoping in your head.
I'm not nearly as cool as I was hoping in my head.
Content.
As we all take our trip to the armory, Kaka wants to do like a vibes check on everything. 'Cause it'd be cool to take the bracers of archery like, while we're here.
Vibe check.
Cool.
Church and Caecia.
All right.
Church has no problems with you taking the braces of archery.
Yeah, Casey is more
Alright.
interested to know, does he have a bow? Is he pulling out a bow right now? We get to see some bow action.
Pulls out a longbow, has a fighting style of archery, so +2 on all archery things, and sometimes I'll fire a velociraptor on my arrows.
Because D&D.
You are a mad
Do
lad.
it.
You are a
Stop him,
mad
do it.
lad.
Justice.
The first time Caecia sees him practice this maneuver, you can see her just like heft one of her javelins, so cleverly named the Beatitudes, and kind of just like picture like, I wonder if he would ever put a velociraptor on my projectile.
Before we leave, Church will offer to make anyone ammo if they need it.
You guys do have 12 arrows, and then no one wants to take the Urn of Shadows.
Hell no.
What's the internet?
There's an Ernest shit. Hold on. There's a lot going on.
An
Mo
urn at
would
the end
like
of the
to
chain
take-
made from humanoid bone. After being attuned each time a creature dies within 60 feet of you, the urn absorbs the soul of the creature and gains a charge. The urn stores up to 10 charges. As an action, you may choose a creature within 60 feet of you and use up to 4 charges to restore 1d4 hit points per charge to an ally, or deal 1d4 necrotic damage per charge to an enemy.
I'm assuming this is something that happened that you may have got during the last campaign. Okay, good. Because I was like looking at like, oh, cool, sword, a great axe, the Urn of Shadows.
This was a reward for clearing out
Yeah.
standard
yeah.
adventuring gear. What, you don't have artifacts
These
that
are the
steal
items
souls
that-
in your normal adventuring party?
Is this one of the
Yeah.
items that we've like tested as like definitely doesn't have any madness side effects?
I mean, I have identify.
It looks like it's got a note attached to it from someone named Dirk.
Use with caution.
Use with
You're evil. Love Dirk. Thanks, Dirk.
Oh, darn!
But Mo would love to grab the Eye of Truth lens if no one else is looking at it.
Sure.
Ooh, cool. Go for it.
Yes.
Seriously, does anyone need any type of ammunition or anything like that?
I'll
Good for
slip-
now, unless I have to kill more than 20 things.
Yeah, I've got arrows as well.
All right.
Wait,
So
am I wearing chainmail? Damn.
You said you had a plate, like a plate shirt or something?
No, I'm wearing a chain shirt.
Oh, a chain
I
shirt.
mean, yeah, I've gotten my.
I think the chainmail may not have the same amount of dex addition.
Okay, no, I'm good. I do have a bear pelt. Wow. Whoa.
All right. So you guys are going to. You said you wanted to adventure to the west and try and.
Try and map that forest.
Sure.
Okay.
So for Church and Caecia, you are well familiar with how to get out of this sort of small village that is on top of this large sea stack. So it's a little bit off from shore. There's a bridge built, and by a little bit I mean 100 feet. There's a bridge built that you guys walk over. It's a rope bridge. It's reinforced. It's fairly well made, but it still does do that rope bridge swinging thing a little ominously as you guys walk over it. And you make your way to the other side, and there's sort of these rolling hills that stretch out, and there is you can see that the grass and greenery is sort of compressed, like there was people walking towards the right, not as much so to the left, which goes off into the forest. Now, Church and Caecia, you both have been this way. This is where you met the fairy dragons, actually.
But yeah, I loved them. They loved me.
That was a pleasant interaction.
Yeah, it's because I'm a
Happy
Disney
family.
princess, bitch.
So, you guys would like to head that way?
Yeah, to
Are
the
you-
area. that
Are
we
you
wanna
moving
map.
quickly or stealthily?
Let's be stealthy.
No.
If we. Yeah.
We all make a stealth check.
I would like everyone to make a stealth check then.
This is not gonna end well for anybody. Yeah.
What kind of environment are we walking on as we do this? And is there a route we could take that's more coastal?
You could follow the coast along the edge. The thing is that it's a line of cliffs. So if you go over the bridge, and if you look left, there's sort of mixed pine deciduous forest in front of you, and then a cliff with the sea to your left. And as things kind of go deeper, you can kind of see along the coast as you do, and the cliff steadily moves towards the left of your vision as what looks like whatever part of land you're on expands outwards.
I just want to point out that two of us have rolled a 1 and a 2 respectively, and Church has still rolled lower than us. Killing it.
My boy is not quiet.
Oh my god.
Oh, and if I could real quick, what is everyone's passive perception?
Not a minute.
I have 12.
13.
14.
16.
Good to know. You guys, would you like to traverse near the coast as Kakuako suggested? Or keep more to the forests?
I have some helpful tips that'll make that difficult terrain not even a problem. Don't even sweat, dog. It'll be totally fine. It's all about your footing.
These are not difficult terrain.
I will listen to the Velociraptor man.
Same. Seems like he has a pretty good handle on this situation.
Yeah. So Sorry, go ahead.
I pair one Velociraptor with each of them, and each makes a decided point of over each crag or difficult spot, stopping, looking both ways, and then leaping decidedly over little cracks, taking your time, looking out for things. They don't communicate, although occasionally you'll get a helpful or annoying reminder over your 30 feet telepathics, but the little velociraptors are going to help for getting around any coastal difficult terrain.
Just
It is-
And
for
the travel speed is not slowed at all.
No. And you can't become lost. Although you don't know quite what you were looking for, but you do know generally where you are trying to head towards.
how big are these velociraptors again?
They are tiny beasts.
Okay.
I was kind of thinking they're like a really big rooster.
Isn't tiny
Hey.
like 6 inches?
I don't know.
Because small is like 2 to 3 feet. Isn't tiny like 6 inches to a foot?
You run the game, I'll get back to you. I'll look it up.
Okay, I believe in you.
Tiny
Mo just needs to
velociraptors.
know how possible it is to strap one to each foot and have that be.
Tiny is 2.5 by 2.5 feet. Is kind of their range. Is their
Oh,
box
okay.
area
Yeah,
influence, like an
understood.
inverse.
So they're like half your size.
Yeah.
Or more.
If Mo will consent, Church will pick you up and put you on his shoulders.
Oh,
So you can
Let's
cartograph.
go.
So you can
Let's go.
map. So you can map.
like a little like scroll comes out and is set on top of your head, and
Yeah.
like etchings begin.
Yeah.
It's very you feel a sense of that same kind of pride and accomplishment of looking after your friends, but the scratching from the quill against your metal head is a little annoying.
Church is gonna start praying, and will like every time a particular scratch is like really deep, he'll just like stop and then restart. It's-
Character, is Vulcan a very patient god? Does he grant you a lot of patience? Vulcan? Hephaestus?
Hephaestus, a bit. I mean, not really. But Church is kind of a chill dude, so it takes a lot to rile him up, and the amusement of the situation soon fades. And although there is annoyance, he never shows it.
As Church often does.
I am trying to scout, but like I'm not going super far from the party because last time me and Dad are out here, freaky shit happening. But like you see Caecia with like her little velociraptor, she keeps like picking it up like a chicken, like to stop and like sonar sense the surroundings and then put it back down and off we go.
Make a perception
Clear.
check.
Yeah, perception checks. I love those.
Yeah.
6. Wow.
Church would also like to keep his eye out for things.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check. In the future, just let me know before you guys make a skill check as one party member. But this is fine.
Natural 20.
So amongst both with your prayer to distract yourself from the scratching, you really keep focused on all kinds of other things. Noting different things. Positioning of the tree there. Huh, that's interesting how that would be. I wonder how water gets around that. There's like a water drainage thing there. Little things about the environment. And then you notice a couple of flashes of what looks like fur in the underbrush. They never show themselves, but it definitely looks similar to the wolves that you guys had encountered earlier. They don't seem to be aggressive, they just seem to be following.
Church's shield like unfolds from his forearm at his side.
Yeah, you guys watch as Church puts out his arm and the shield just
And he kind of will look at Caecia and be like, I believe the wolves may have returned.
She also like whips out like a 2 sickle swords and she's like, where? Where they at?
It may be best not to engage.
I'm not engaging. I'm just keeping an eye on them. Where are they?
6 o'clock.
You turn
Alright,
and look,
they-
and in some of the lower shrubbery, there is indeed, you see a wolf. It's not in any aggressive posture, it's just sort of, you see it very briefly, and then in a sort of a quick flash of fur and a rustling of the shrubs, it's gone.
Okay, they're fine.
This
Yeah.
was smaller than the alpha you guys had encountered. This was one of the smaller ones.
Mo leads down to church. Are these everyday wolves or fun, exciting kind of wolves?
Fun exciting is not what the words I would use. But yes.
Oh, that must be they definitely are fun and exciting.
Call them what you will. They were not normal.
Interesting.
You guys continue.
Mhm.
The clear, excuse me, the clear weather holds, and you find yourself to around where you had been told to go, which is about a mile to the west. But it is quite rough terrain. But given your friend, the Halfling Ranger, you were able to get there with a fair amount of speed. And so you now know, based on just sort of a cursory search of the area, this is just past where you guys had encountered the fairy dragons with that dais in the middle of the grove, and where you'd also encountered the wolves there. And then to the hills that you guys had sort of noted that kind of begun rolling, that you could kind of see the beginnings of in the trees as the tree line wandered its way up. But now you sort of see that same sort of wandering up of the tree line that indicates an elevation change to your northwest. But you would have to leave the coast behind.
You should start mapping.
Go. Oh, while we're at the dice, Caecia, you see her kind of pull out of her pocket, and like she's just thinking about it, but like there's no reason to put this in the dice right now.
So you guys didn't actually go through the way that the dais was, because you went via the coast. You went south of it. It's sort of, it would have been to your north as you went past.
Okay.
The dais is
Doesn't do
within
that.
the wood
Let's start
itself.
mapping. Let's just map. Draw some maps.
Cool. Who's doing the mapping?
Mo has been mapping since we left.
Excellent. I want you to make a perception or make a perception check.
Would it be
And
possible to help
Church-
on this?
church-
absolutely it would. And because you
Church.
are you proficient with cartographer's tools?
I am.
Add your proficiency, even if you're not proficient with perfection.
Church is gonna reach up and like give a very gentle head tap and give guidance.
Okay.
What does guidance do?
Add a d4.
Add a d4. Okay, so I'm rolling a perception. I will add my proficiency. Boop, 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 boop. +2 and plus a d4.
Okay.
17.
17.
17. You are quite pleased with your map. It is in your customary style. It's not only functional. It's got some good, like, you got a little wolf drawn in there and one of like the little tree areas. You know, it's like, it's something that you could hang up at a shop and people would go, oh, that's a really nice map. But also be functional enough to get done what you need to get done.
Brilliant. I'm pretty proud
Alright.
of it.
So you guys are gonna cut up through the forest.
Yeah.
All right.
Can we
Away
like?
from the coast.
Yeah. I'm gonna suggest that I will stay in the middle with the map maker on my head, and everyone else form a little perimeter as we start mapping.
Sure.
Affirmative.
Sounds good.
And I am guidancing myself and looking out.
Sure. So you make a perception check, and then who is leading everyone? Caecia, make a survival check.
Whatever the opposite of the Vanguard is, I imagine that that's where Kako is.
Well,
15.
seeing as you have Caecia and you have Church, who has Mo
Rolled a
on
20.
their head.
I rolled a 23 perception.
Amazing. So you guys both actually notice at the same time that as you're going, you're sort of crawling over not crawling, but you're sort of walking over these sort of like small rocky bluffs. You find your way around them. It's not too hard of going though. It's very reasonable sort of rolling hills with the occasional little outcropping. Church, you notice it because you are looking at the landscape and sort of your brain is very pattern recognition. And the trees in this landscape are very orderly. Oddly orderly. Not in an ominous way, but there's some other smaller ones, but the big trees in this one are like 6 feet apart. Tree, 6 feet, tree, 6 feet, tree, 6 feet, tree.
Can I look up?
Mm-hmm. You can. It's the sky.
And Mo!
Make a survival check.
And
No,
Mo!
make a nature check for you.
Me?
Yeah, you look up and Mo like grabs on and is like,
Can I
Hey!
guidance myself?
you may. Caecia, you notice that there are two things here. There's some olives.
Not good. Not
Why are
good.
there olives here? That's weird. They don't grow
Got
in
an
this
8.
climate normally. An 8? You're not sure. It's just trees. But Casey, you notice there's olives here, number 1. And number 2, these are fruit trees. Huh.
Occupant.
Yes. I divine sense.
Nothing.
If these all seem kosher, Kako is going to use his mage hand feature via his swarm to bring him some olives and distribute some casual snacking olives to the party members.
Absolutely you can. You totally can do that.
Close.
And just a note, it's not just the trees in order. There are lots of smaller trees too that if you're just looking, it could look like a woodland. But because of your good perception and pattern recognition, you realize that the oldest and biggest of these trees are very orderly. So there seems to have been some propagation over time.
This used to be an orchard of some sort?
That's what you can pretty much surmise.
Can I, real quick, as the velociraptors gather olives, Church is going to reach over and is going to cast Purify Food and Drink on the olives.
Okay. Do you get, when you cast that, is there any mention of whether you know if it works?
I don't think so.
Okay. You cast Purify Food and Drink. Some of the dirt on the outside of the olives go away.
Well, I trust Church's magic, so I just start popping olives.
Have you ever eaten an olive before?
Probably.
Okay, so you know there's pits.
Velociraptors minorly and cosmetically choke on some bits.
Oh my god.
Reach down to the one that is my chicken velociraptor companion and just kind of like CPR it real quick. Just
Give it the chicken velociraptor Heimlich, totally standard. Yep, I think you're proficient in that, so yeah, it's no problem.
Alright, just out of curiosity, Church is gonna eat one, and he doesn't take out the pit. He just eats it.
It's thank God your teeth are metal. That's all I'm gonna say. Even then, it's pretty hard.
Crunches through it.
He just eats it.
Conten's about to toss one back, remembers that olives have pits, as well as sees the velociraptors choking, and then like kind of casually like brings it back down, takes the pit out, and then he
They're good olives. They're not like, you guys have seen maybe have seen some wild ones in the past. Those of you that have any kind of natural background, especially in the Iran Empire, they're cultivated there, and there's the wild variety, which is much smaller, and there's the cultivated variety. This one isn't quite as big as the large cultivated variety, but it's bigger than wild.
I'm from the Aran Empire.
You are.
Do I like? Does this just like taste really familiar? Like this
Kind
is
of.
old- Okay.
Kind of. Not in a bad way, but it's it'd be the difference between
Earthier. Earthier?
Yeah, definitely earthier.
some olives.
Church would request that a small bag of those be kept because he has read about certain useful oils that can be extracted from olives, and I think you might be able to do something with that.
So you have.
Audible.
If someone would like to make a survival check, I think it would be Kako
Oh,
would be making the survival check, and if anyone would like to help, you can.
Audible.
Guidance.
Survival with guidance.
Survival.
I'm at 23.
Survival.
Jeez.
Roll a d10 for me.
Me?
Oh, you guys did it together?
Oh, I thought you said everyone.
You rolled a natural one. Okay, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you gather up. Kako gathers up a bunch of olives, probably about 6 pounds worth. You're like, oh, this is a great amount of olives. And then Konstantin, you have like a handful, and you're like, oh, I'm such a good gatherer. And you trip over a root, and you faceplant and destroy almost all of the olives, leaving about 1.5 pounds of olives left. With your natural one.
Devastating.
I pick myself up and I clean off like like Chet kind of looks away, is like super embarrassed. Like, okay,
You smell nice though. You smell like olives.
All right.
Yeah. So as you guys continue to go north, you kind of continue to find these just like scatter bits of olive, and then like this almost row-like planting. And then you come to an area that the trees begin to get smaller and smaller, and you can see through them. So there's like a glade or a clearing on the other side. Would you guys
Can
like
I
to? Sorry, go ahead.
Can I make a perception check to scan for movement and/or threats?
You absolutely can.
Guidance. Yeah. That's a 21.
A 21.
21.
Looking through, it just looks like a glade, from what you can see.
Hmm.
Not seeing any movement. You kind of wait for a minute. You see like some small like pheasants, or something like that moving in the periphery, but nothing large. Nothing that immediately screams like the wolves earlier, where it's like, oh, that's danger. None of that.
I'll come up beside Church and like a good Swint and Divine Sense again.
Sure. You don't sense anything.
I think it's safe.
All right. We go forward.
You guys go forward, and you see these sort of areas of raised earth within this clearing, where it's like the clearing is being reclaimed by the forest around. The trees are smaller, but there's lots of saplings, and the grass is very, very tall. These raised areas of earth where out of some of the tops of them, just little bits of stone, little bits of wood. Very, very old can be seen. Looks like maybe a farmhouse, a couple of farmhouses, 3 or so.
Can I like kind of kneel down and like extract a chunk of wood from like the ruins, like buried in the ground or just left to the elements, and
Yeah, it's
I'd let
very rotted.
crumble it in my hand? Can I tell how long this has been here?
I was gonna ask if Mo could lean down and smell the wood that you brought out and maybe investigate that wood a little bit.
Sure. Either one of you can make the primary roll and have advantage from the other.
I would like to.
Hey. Take it. Yeah. Nat 20.
This is a familiar kind of wood. It's like an oakish kind of wood. Hardwood would have been used for building. There's an oil in it, though. There's definitely an oil in this. There's a little bit of olive kind of oil. And then you sort of kind of look around and you look at some of the construction and how the way this is kind of laid out. And then you're like, oh, this was the way that this house's foundations is set up, it looks like an Antikyran building. This would be like the equivalent in our world of like the Minoans, an ancient people that are almost lost to time. Culturally, some things have distilled down. The chosen people and sort of that area are very intertwined with it. But this would be like someone walking and like finding a bit of a Minoan ruin in our world. It's immediately, because that's your area of expertise, you're like, this is Antikyran. I know this.
I know it.
Mo, have you figured something out? You've become agitated on my head.
So day ever, guys. It's the best day ever. So this is an ancient people, and this must be where they have their civilization. I think they planted those olive trees. They're huge into olives, you guys. We have to go check out these buildings, and I'm going to, if not stopped, leap from Church's shoulders and start beelining it for these.
I catch. Can I try and catch? Just be like, wait.
You can, just for brevity's sake, just make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh
Mo.
no.
No, not you, Mo.
Oh, Mo.
I roll low.
12.
12. Just make a quick attack roll, Church.
Nope. Okay. 17.
Okay, yeah, you
Catch.
you catch her.
Just like by the scrub, by just like the back of the shirt, just like, please do not run off alone. Buddy system.
Buddy
And we'll
system.
just gently set her down, and then we'll follow her.
And yeah, I'm going to acknowledge the buddy system because me and Church are tight, and I'm going to reach up and grab a hand, and like a toddler at Legoland, we are pulling.
Kurt will kind of like look back at the and be like, please follow us, like a facial expression, and will allow himself to be dragged.
Kakaako, in full excitement for anthropologic interest, is going to, for the first time since you've seen him, is going to have 4 of his velociraptors squat up on him, and he's going to start surfing forward at what for him is as fast as he goes, a breaking speed of 30 movement, the normal walking speed. He starts surging ahead at 5 extra move speed, almost as fast as, well, right at the same speed as the hurrying Church.
She's part cat. She's got a 30 on you, but she sees you moving faster and thinks that we're falling behind. So Church is getting real tugs right now.
Caecia, make a perception
just like
check.
looks at Caecia, like, please.
And Content, both of you guys.
Alright, perception check. What? Check.
We gotta be
Jesus,
vigilant.
Cold right now.
Please.
17.
Content, you're getting a little caught up in the moment. You're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
kind of fun. This is kind of cool.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
this is adventure. This is adventure. And Caecia, you notice there's a scarecrow at the edge of the woods. Why is there a scarecrow here?
Why
I need
is
you to
there a
make a
scarecrow here?
history check.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Actually, what subrace are you? Are you chosen people? Subrace of human?
I'm not a
Oh
human.
no, sorry. Remind me, are you biologically related to Kisti?
I'm biologically related to Kisti, so I am technically his subrace. My like statted race is from mom's side.
Understood.
But if history would help me, I was not raised with
You weren't. Okay, yeah,
Kisti.
so you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was raised with I think the
Never
chosen
mind then.
people. It's my bio. Never mind.
Oh no, sorry, you were raised with the chosen people.
The Aaron Empire.
You were raised with the Aarons. Okay.
Okay, sorry. I was like
No, it's all right.
trying to search through this. Okay, yeah.
You're fine,
I was raised
fine.
with the Aarons.
Your perception was 17. Okay. It's weird a scarecrow would be here. It's really weird.
It's weird. Scarecrow would be here.
Don't boost.
I want to go check it out.
Okay.
I make like a symbol like at church, and then I like realize that Church is getting pulled along by Mo, and that like, God, I don't have my SEAL Team 6 squad. What am I gonna do? And so I just like say out loud, like, let's go. We gotta check the perimeter before we go ham on the research.
If Church hears that, he's going to like grab, like he was being held by the hand, but he's just kind of gonna grab Mo's hand and just kind of lift, and just be like, "We must make sure this area is safe before we
Absolutely.
research it."
We gotta check inside that house to see if there's anything bad in it.
As
And
you're
I'm
holding
gonna-
up Mo, you watch the scarecrow shift in their periphery behind it.
Oh,
And, no, I immediately like swivel and just shove Mo behind me and take out the shield and the mace.
All right. And everyone needs to roll initiative now.
Ha ha ha.
Scarecrows.
Watch yours,
Oh.
baby.
Oh no, my initiative. That's not
Just
bad
y'all
for me.
wait for me to survive to level 7, then we all get bonuses to our initiatives.
18!
Ah!
With that roll, it was
Anyone
just like
higher initiative than
7.
20?
Got a 20.
No, someone got a 20, but no one got more than 20.
Mo got a 20. Are we missing someone? Oh no, we got everyone.
So I should probably change that to my name instead of Paul on there.
You should be.
The very, very right top of the screen under my settings and the white panel on the right. You can do that.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay, better.
All right, with that, Mo, you immediately know the danger is afoot, and let me pull you guys over.
We get in the
The game's
battlefield.
afoot.
Quite literally.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Zooming out. Zooming out. I am seeing.
Oh, what fresh hell is this?
So let me pull everyone's characters out of there.
Yeah.
Expired hell.
That would be Church.
Pure escape hell.
Should I input my health?
You can track it manually.
Okay.
Where is Mo?
Where is Mo?
Mo is right behind.
Wow.
Caecia is over here. You were with them, Kako?
No, I don't like to. Oh, yeah, I guess anthropologically I was going forward. I was interested.
Yeah,
I don't like
so
to
he's
go
like-
forward,
Fair
but I got too excited.
Mo is the cutest little thing I've ever seen in my goddamn.
Content, where were you at?
I was standing next to Casey. I hadn't run forward yet because I was just kind of caught, caught up in how cool the situation
Sure.
was.
And over here
Famous last words.
is the creature.
All right.
Oh, whoa.
Gotcha.
Hey.
And first up is Mo. You see this thing begin to shift, and now kind of focusing your eyes on it, it is this strange wicker-like scarecrow that is, its mouth is this sort of awful smile that almost looks like the middle of a laughter, and that one hand is this twisted claw. The other hand has this cage that's woven into it, and there's this sort of glow into it. This glow within the cage.
And just wanting to confirm, thanks, this is the first time. Each one of these hexagons is 5 feet.
You should be able to measure on the Roll20 itself.
Perfect. Just making, I was seeing if
65 feet away.
yeah, if that was accurate. Okay. I am going to do several things. The first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to tap Church on the back of the leg and say, I am you right now, and cast Bardic Inspiration on you.
You feel very inspired.
As well as that, there's going to be a little mote pops out from my mouth and then begins to kind of spin around you as that happens. So when you use your Bardic Inspiration, please let me know, because there's going to be something special that happens with that. And then, okay, so I have 30. Okay. Dylan, question.
Answer.
How hard is it for me to climb up one of these trees?
I mean, you're a cat, so
I am a
that
cat.
will affect the DC, but
Wait, isn't there a climb?
Yeah, you have a climb
Yeah,
speed.
Twinsies get climb speed.
Backsies get
So you
climb
can
speed.
just climb, man.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just
Broken.
treat that as regular. Okay, perfect. So I am going to specifically climb up. Yeah, I'm going for that guy right here.
Gotcha. So you climb up the tree, you dash over, climb up the tree.
Dash over, climb up the tree, and I am going to, if it gets within crossbow distance,
I think it technically already is in crossbow distance.
is it? Because I thought it said 20. Where's my...
You're definitely a crossbow.
I'm definitely in crossbow, so I'm gonna roll it. Boom, crossbow.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Get they.
It's an 8 to hit.
Yeah, it is.
That was a 1d6 you rolled, not a d20 roll.
Yeah. What are the?
Hey, when you can, roll the wrong thing.
You always roll the wrong thing.
Always roll
Always.
the wrong thing.
Helps us.
Does that one help? No, because that's a dagger.
That
Hey,
should still be
always-
fine. It should be the same.
Always roll the wrong thing.
Should be the same ones.
Did you have a +6?
Yeah, because it's still a dex weapon. You should still have the same amount to hit, I'm guessing.
Yes,
All right, so we can just use the damage there. So that's 8 piercing.
I love it.
Well,
Oh,
hits.
wait, that's 12 to hit. I apologize. It misses.
Yeah.
As you get up there, you're like, okay, inspired. Now I gotta climb the tree. Okay, I wind up my crossbow and fire, and it just like barely goes right by it. So that is your turn, Mo. Next
Yeah,
up
it
is Kakwako.
Show me.
Miss is going to, if I have a clean shot, I will take it. Otherwise, I'll move behind. Seeing Church over here, I'm going to kind of go behind Church some. Going to drop to a knee with my longbow. I'm going to give a quick whistle, drop my longbow arrow down to the ground, let a Velociraptor grab onto it, and then fire it high so it can arc with the Velociraptor. It is a 17 to hit for
Which hits.
14 piercing damage. And then the young Velociraptor starts clawing at this thing like I've just thrown a Pikmin for 5 additional piercing damage.
So a total of 19 piercing damage.
Yes.
Fantastic. Two things. One, it is not as effective as you thought. And two, when it hits, the arrow stops short, and you still see there's like this cracking in the air, almost like if you were to be like hitting a glass window. And so it's a little something from the air just sort of falls down. Not entirely, but bits of it do. So it definitely did damage on something. But you're not sure what.
I'm going to telepathically boost to everyone within 30 feet, so it does not reach Mo, but it does reach Church and Content. I'm going to boost out some kind of shield thing. Watch out.
maybe try something with a saving throw, and then end my turn.
All right. It is
I'm gonna move a little further back.
Sure. It is now the Hidge's turn.
Hidge.
And so you guys watch as the little glowing thing within its lamp begins to flash and flare, and the tiny cat creature up in the tree. Oops, that's not what I was trying to do. Is affected by a kind of pinkish aura around it as you are hexed.
Fair.
That is its bonus action. Ooh, not doing that.
Oh no, it's normal action.
Oh no, that is a normal action. Oh no, it is a bonus action. Ha! Then, as an action, it is going to cast Eldritch Blast at you.
Eldritch Blast.
As a 19 plus.
It's gonna hit.
How much HP do you have, Kitty?
So much.
Alright.
You take 6 points of force damage plus
Okay.
1 point of necrotic damage.
So 7 altogether.
7 altogether. And that is the end of the Hidge's turn.
I got 10 HP. Okay. I'm fine.
Be good.
And it cannot
Alright.
move. So next up is Church. You just watch this thing, this like, it goes from being like a candle that you see, or like a campfire you see, you know, from across a clearing, to someone's headlights coming right at you in brightness, and then it fades back down.
Okay. Church is gonna walk forward a bit, not a ton, but enough to kind of get a little closer to Mo. And as a bonus action, he's gonna fire off he's gonna fire off a spiritual weapon.
All right, what does the spiritual weapon look like?
It looks like a giant hammer,
So this
Like a-
giant
like-
hammer.
like a blacksmith hammer. That
Out
is
of this
like
flash of fire next to it, this hammer rises up, curling from the flames and forming with the sparks of a forge from it.
Alright. Natural 1.
Unfortunately, as it comes up, the wicker, in this strange kind of staggering motion, staggers forward and ducks under it.
As it ducks, he's going to kind of smile and fire an Eldritch Blast at it.
Sure, go for it.
Eldritch Blast.
Natural 20!
Natural
Let's
20.
go!
Now that's an Eldritch Blast.
I only do 6 damage to it.
Alright, we got big two rivers. I got it.
Still, that's good. So
Yeah.
6 force damage. Yeah, you see again. There's a strike against this sort of like shimmering wall, but when the blast hits it, the crack intensifies and it sort of almost looks like it's closing back over slightly, but there's sort of like shimmering cracks in the air as this surface slowly rotates above it. That was a pretty good impact.
Alright, and that hammer's gonna stay there.
That it is. Is that your turn?
That's my turn.
All right, Cotton, you're up.
Alright.
You're right
So
here.
bear with me here. How do I do the check the actual distance really quickly? I saw you guys doing that thing. I'm sorry. I
Is
was
it control?
No, the
Oh.
top. There's a top left. There's some options you can pick, and one of them looks kind of like a ruler, with like a
Like a
circle.
circle line in it.
It's like right under the
I
magnifying
see it.
glass.
Okay.
There it is. There it is.
Okay. So let's click on that.
If you're clicking and holding with your left click and you tap once with your right click, you can drop a little thingy.
Okay. Thank you. All right,
Yep.
Sure. I just recorded. I need to thing to work.
So this is Church right here.
Yeah, it's church. Yeah. So
Yeah, this is
let's
him.
see. Cool. I'm going to just. I don't have much I can do as if I'm only close range, so he's far as hell.
Do you have
So
any
I'm
ranged
thinking-
weapons like javelins or anything?
Ooh, I do actually have hand axes. Let's see. What's
Chuck a hand axe.
I believe it's 20 feet for a normal attack and 60 for disadvantage.
I have a crossbow if you want to borrow it.
So you could move towards it and throw a hand axe at it if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do that. So I'll move. So if I'm here and right click,
Nice.
my speed's only 20. Wait, you said it's under 60. It's no longer at a disadvantage.
So let me move you to here. So
Yeah,
if you
sorry.
move to there,
Yeah,
now
sorry.
do the measurement from there. You've nothing to
Alright.
apologize
No,
for.
you got to turn it off
55 feet.
first. No, you
Oh,
got to.
my bad.
There it is.
There you go,
30
30
feet.
feet.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
All right. So then with that, I'll throw a hand axe. So let me look at my sheet here. Pull that up. Okay, cool. Hand axe. Do I just click on it to do the roll, or?
Nice
Yeah,
hit.
there you go. So
Nice.
it is unfortunately it is at disadvantage because it's is it 2060 or 3060?
Let me check.
I thought it was.
that. Don't count the damage. I was just trying to look at.
2060. So it's unfortunate. As you throw it, you step up and you're like, "Now's my chance!" And you throw it, and it just sort of off into the.
Now's
Just
my
missing it.
chance. I actually do shit like that. I go, now's my chance.
And you sit there and you feel your cheeks start to burn just a little bit from embarrassment. Do you have any bonus actions you would like to take?
No, not this time.
All right, excellent. Now it is the Wicker's turn.
Oh no.
Wait,
So-
again?
Turn, son of a bitch.
Excuse
Yep.
me. Excuse me again?
Turns.
Yep.
So it begins to
You.
shamble towards the little halfling that threw an axe at it.
All right.
And interesting. It is actually going to it's actually instead going to go right up to the base of the tree where the cat is, and it's
No,
it's sort of in
no.
a horrible way like scrabbling against it, and it doesn't move like a normal creature where it's fluid. It sort of like has this stop-start horrific little thing where these little wicker bristles are breaking and then reforming and breaking and reforming,
Okay.
and its face is like turning back and forth as it's trying to looking up at you.
You're so awful.
That is the end of its turn, unfortunately. Caecia, you're up.
He's up. All right. She is going to see how far can I get. 50. So I can get right about here. She's going to move right here. 30 right. Can I
That's
get
fine.
there?
That's fine.
Okay. And with her 3120 javelins, is going to chuck a javelin at it.
Yeah, go for it. Make an attack. That hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Boom.
Good work.
Can I like roll acrobatics to see if she can pull off this like vaulting over a halfling to throw the javelin?
Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can.
Isn't there something about nimble where they don't
So extra.
take the full space?
Yeah, they don't. They definitely don't take up the full space. So yeah, a 10 is it's. If this was church, it'd be way harder. But for him, yeah, you
I'm
basically
small,
just you. It's like the Avengers, but not nearly as cool. You run forward, you're like, ha, and you throw hand axe, and then like someone like vaults and like side flips and throws the javelin over the side like an Olympic javelineer, and you're like, wow. Yeah, so that's 10 piercing damage.
Somebody's gotta teach by example. Yeah.
Again, not quite as
10
effective as you thought, but does do some damage.
Not as effective as I thought. I don't think I have a
A bonus.
bonus action.
All right.
No, I don't think so.
That's your turn,
No,
Mo.
that's
You are
turn.
caught up a tree, and there's a wicker on the bottom, and it's horrifying.
Horrifying. Okay. So how far up this tree am I?
Well, I would say you. Well, let's see. How far? You're right next to church. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're like, you're. I would say 5 feet up the tree.
Okay.
Honestly, that thing probably could have reached you because you were at the end of your movement. I'll say it's fine.
Well, okay. I'll, because if not, I can use a tabaxi trait to double my movement to get me. but if it's fine.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
We'll say you're up there. It would have made sense.
I can. I'm gonna climb further into the tree to get
Totally.
further away, and then kind of in this. Hold on, I'll do this. In this spot right here, kind of next to the scarecrow, but still like on the edge of him, I would like to cast Cloud of Daggers.
Ooh.
All right. What kind of save do I need to make?
So you fill the air with spinning daggers in a cube 5 feet on each side, centering on a point you choose within range. A creature takes 4d4 slashing damage when it enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn, or starts its turn there the next time.
All right. What save again?
There's no save. I think it's
Oh.
It's just like an AOE.
It's just an
Yeah.
AoE thing. It's an area of denial spell.
So do you say at the end of their turn?
At the start.
start.
Of their next turn.
Oh, okay.
What is it? What is it called? Flying daggers?
A cloud
yeah.
of daggers.
Cloud of daggers.
Cloud of daggers. That sounds cool.
No, I already hit it, so that's the 12.
Wow. When it enters it for the first time or starts its turn there. That's pretty cool. No save.
That's really good.
It's gonna
But
take
I wanted
12.
to definitely put it on one side so people can
Totally.
still come
Yeah,
up to
definitely.
this horrific thing in my face.
Okay, so I can
So interestingly, at the start. So yeah, that's good to know. Is that the end of your turn?
That is.
Because it'll take damage on its turn, right?
It will take
Yep.
damage on its turn.
All right.
And I would love to cast a Bardic Inspiration as a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
At content. It was
Oh,
just
boy.
like, that was a really good throw, buddy, and I'd really like you to hit next time. And so you see just another boat emerge from leaves and begin to spin around
Yeah.
Conten's form.
Just to mention, on the Sage Advice column, Jeremy Crawford cleared up, so entering a space does not count when it turns, like the effect starting on top of a thing does not count as entering it. So he has to start his turn before the damage clock.
Correct.
What?
So
Correct.
he'll
Yeah,
take
that's what I was saying.
he'll take that 12 damage
Mhm.
at the start of his turn, which I think is right
Correct.
now.
Correct.
It
It is
takes turns all the time, so
It's
Does-
I
Kakaka's
mean,
turn.
this is a great kind of spell for a creature that apparently gets 2 turns.
Mhm.
does.
yeah.
Around.
How is he looking? Is he looking pretty brutalized
His
right now?
body is not damaged at all. It's only been damaged to the shield.
Okay, I'm going to cast my Hunter's Mark upon him.
Sure.
So I think it just happens. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the description.
It does.
And so he is just Hunter's marked. And I'm just going to go ahead and longbow. 24 to hit.
That hits.
So it's 11 piercing damage for my arrow, 6 for my Hunter's mark, and that first Velociraptor who's there just keeps Pikmining him for 2 more piercing.
Dang. All right. So what is that? 13,
What?
19?
Yes.
Dang. All right. Yeah. You're tearing away.
Yeah, I'm a glass cannon. Please don't let me get murdered, or else this fun stops. But I'm over here. I'm gonna use my movement at half speed to try and climb this tree. So
Go for it. Make a quick acrobatics check.
I've got 25 feet of movement. Alrighty. You can go. Quick acrobatics. 17.
No problem. You make it up easy. All right. That's your
Okay.
turn.
That's my turn. There's little
All
little
right.
velociraptors on the ground pushing me up. Little
Yep.
velociraptors in the tree
The
trying to pull
Raptors are
me
doing
up.
their best.
Go,
Mo, go
children.
ahead and roll damage for Cloud of Daggers.
Is it the 12 from before?
Yeah, is it 12 for before? I could roll it again.
12 from before?
Yeah.
All right. You watch as these daggers shred through the shield and basically almost tear off completely one of the thing's arms and do massive damage to its torso. That did way more damage than you expected.
Ooh.
This thing's a glass cannon as well. Imagine that shield's coming back.
Hate
Though.
so much.
Well done, Mo.
Yeah, well
That
done.
shield's definitely not staying gone though. I bet.
Sorry, I have to do some math. The shield makes this weird. Gotcha, math is hard. So the Hidge is not happy, and as a bonus action, it is going to cast Healing Word on the Wicker.
Ah.
Enemies aren't allowed to healing.
It's like a Pokemon.
Regains 7 hit points.
All right.
Not enough. Not enough
And then
to
as an
save it.
action, it is going to right here.
Oh boy.
It is going to. You see it turns and it has these almost like tiny little eyes. And then the eyes get bigger and bigger. And right here, you guys just hear this horrific scream that just shoots through your mind. So all 3 of you guys here need to make a wisdom saving throw as it tries to terrify you.
That's why I hang out back here.
21.
You are
Duck it.
fine.
I just click
Well-
on I just clicked the wisdom, right? That's it.
No, you need to click on Wisdom Save.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's
it's under the
Oh, I see.
saving throws.
I see it. You.
Oh, you're having a bad day, Content.
Yeah, I'm not getting good rolls here. All right.
Content, you're inspired. Use your
Bardic
inspiration.
I can use Bardic Inspiration. Yeah, that's a 1d6. You said. Is that it?
For saving throws, it's a 1d6, and whatever you roll, you're also going to gain that as temporary hit points.
Okay, here we go. Give me. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Come on. Well,
It's a valiant effort. You do.
Okay.
You still fail.
Plus 3. So you still fail it, but you're gonna get 5 temporary hit points.
So,
Oh, nice. So reduce the
So
damage
those-
of this by
those-
5. That's nice.
and that brings
Yeah.
them to 9 because of the apple thing you said, or the food we had from earlier, right?
Actually, I don't. Temporary hit points don't stack.
They don't stack. They don't stack.
So it's at 5 total. 'cause
But
it's 4
yeah, you have
credits.
5 though.
So
You
it
now have
replaces
5.
it. It replaces
So-
it.
It still helped.
If you Church, you take 7 psychic damage,
Ow.
and Caecia and Content take 15 psychic damage, and you are feared.
Cool. That brings
Okay.
me
Mean.
Mhm.
Cool.
Okay.
2 hit points. Neat, and I am now feared.
Did you roll additional hit points for your levels, Paul?
I probably did not because I was at 12 hit points.
What's your Constitution modifier?
Constitution modifier is 4.
Roll 2d10 and add 8 to it.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. Seriously?
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're just way beefier than that.
Okay, so slash roll 2 10. And then what? I just press plus now. So that's 11 plus 8, 19. Do I add that to what my original maximum was?
Yes, you
Correct.
add the-
Okay, so that's
Wow.
going to be 31, then that's minus 10, so I'm at 21 hit points.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna
Hey!
be fine.
Yeah, okay.
Oh
I'll be
yeah.
fine. Oh god, for a minute I was like, cool. I am.
Also, for having a super
great.
high, for having a super high con, that's not an absolutely fantastic one, but it's way better than you had. So
Didn't you
Yeah,
started with
yeah.
14, not 12?
Yeah, increase that maximum by 2, man.
Okay.
Anyway, we will get back to this. You are fine. That is the end of the Hidge's turn. Church, you are up.
Church sees his teammates feared and is going to cast Calm Emotions on both of them, removing the fear effect.
Ooh.
dang,
Very
that's
nice.
very choice.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to trigger my spiritual weapon again to smack him again.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you can move it over to him and
Uh-huh.
smack him.
19.
That does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
12. 12.
Hey.
12 force damage. Oh, bam!
Yeah, the hammer just slams down on top of this thing, and you hear more wicker breaking.
Gonna move over here, kind of get between him and our glass cannon buddy.
Sure. Yeah, that's the end of your turn. Next up is Content. You're up.
Right, so I'm no longer feared. So
You're
that
no
means I
longer
can't-
feared.
I have to run away. Let me really quickly check. One, how do I ping an area? Like, block?
I think you just click and hold on it.
Okay. Oh wait, I'm on the ruler thing. Hold on. Okay, so wait, the daggers were here. You said, right?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. And another question: Can I move through someone, or do I
You
have to go
can
on
because
the
you are a halfling. That's one of the things you
cool.
do. You just dash around them.
So then I can move.
You can get right up next to them.
Yep, I can move there. So I'm going to do that, and I am going to attack with my longsword. So
Go for it. Roll an attack.
All right.
That hits. Go
There
to roll
we go.
damage.
And roll damage. Do I just click that? Oh, no, sorry.
Click the word. Click the word longsword in the chat.
Oh, click the word longsword in the chat. Thank you. 4. I rolled I rolled 1 on it. Okay.
That's all right. You still, as you slice through, you cut through wicker, and again, it's you're like, oh, this is gonna be a good hit, and it just shreds through this thing. Does tons and tons of damage. It is looking very torn up.
Seeing how torn up it is that okay? On your turn, I'm actually just seeing how torn up it is, and just seeing how
Do
much
it.
damage this thing can do. I'm gonna
I know
use my
you're gonna do it.
action
Do it.
surge. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yes,
use
do
my
it.
action
Do it.
and do another attack. So
Go for it.
first. 13. Does that hit?
13 just hits.
Yes. And damage. Nice.
Paul, describe to me how you kill this.
With he tries to think of something cool to say. He's just like, "For you," and he can't think of anything in the right moment. He goes, "Knave," as he swings a very kind of. He's been practicing the swing, but it's still kind of weird looking and a little wobbly as he cuts the wicker in half.
Yeah, you cut right through it, and you hear this, like this just creaking noise as it falls apart, and there's almost like this sigh of relief that emanates from the wicker, and then the little light of the hinge goes out.
Nice.
Was it undead?
It was not undead.
Okay.
Is combat over, or do I need to go stabbing at a lantern?
No, combat is over.
Okay.
Ooh, good work.
I will. Church will immediately like put the shield away and the mace, and we'll go over and we'll like put his arms out for the cat.
Oh, could catch him.
Cannon cat.
You jump down into
Okay.
the waiting arm.
Absolutely, I do.
And then I like hold you at arm's length, like I would a child, like checking you over for your wounds.
We did.
So he'll like lift you up a little closer and go like, "It is not advisable for you to run away from your healer during a fight."
Oh.
I myself.
There's like a pause, and he goes, "You were injured. Please do not run away from me again."
Oh my god. I
And
will
we'll-
never.
And we'll put you down gently. And like, how messed up are you actually?
Nah. I'm like 21 out of 24.
Okay, you're fine. Pat.
I'm cutely singed.
Like Church will kind of like comb through your fur and will like kind of like scrape out some of the like the burned fur, just kind of getting that out of there. And then, anyone else get hurt?
I did.
Is anyone else injured?
Content kind of is like, he's still shaking a little bit because up to this point, he's honestly only ever really fought goblins, and that thing was terrifying. He's kind of like shaking, like, okay. And then he like kind of picks himself up, like, well, I'd be remiss not to ask for some medical attention if I could get some.
Church will check people over, make sure there's no lasting damage.
Sure.
Wait. Compound, come here, I got you. And I'll give him. How much health are you missing?
I am missing. Give me a sec to pull up my thing because I don't have it.
You had 5, so I think you're only missing.
I'm missing 10 health for my maximum.
because I had 5 temporary hit points. I was at 33, so it does 5 to the temporary hit points, right?
temporary
And
hit
then 10
points.
damage. And then 10 damage to my normal health point maximum, so I'm at 23 out of 33.
Okay, well, Caecia starts, she kind of like goes to sand her hands together to give you some lay on hands, and then she like winces as she does and looks down and they're like all burned and shit, and she's like, okay, and then she only gives you 5.
Thank you very much. Thank you. He's
Yes,
still
yeah.
he's still shook.
Caecia, would you like healing as well?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Alright, I'll cast Cure Wounds on her. I'll do a level 1 Cure Wounds. 8. You heal 8.
Ooh. Spicy, I'll take that.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
And by the way, I did read the thing on the spell points. I'm keeping track.
Same.
Cool.
Okay. Church will then walk over and start to examine the remains of this wicker and the lantern.
Sure, make an investigation check.
Can I have some help? I'm not smart.
Oh, on it. Because I'm gonna help you.
Alright. I will do a ritual identify on the lantern.
Identify? Okay. That will take 11 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't find anything on the body. It's just made of wicker. Like true, like actual like wicker. It's not like weird kind of. It's literally just like if a wicker chair had been cut in half. Now that whatever force was inhabiting it is gone, it's literally just made of wicker.
While you're doing this, Mo's gonna look over at Kaka and ask Church, if I take a buddy, can I go check out the house? Can I? Yeah? You look like you're doing some investigating, and we could do some investigating, and I could
Wink,
take a
wink.
buddy.
Nudge, nudge.
Meh?
Miss Mo, I think we need to firmly check the perimeter before we go in the house.
That's what I'm all about. Firmly checking it.
Okay, I need to make an
Promise.
investigation check. I'm gonna guidance myself.
Do it.
Cause I suck. Oh my god, I got a 15. With guidance, 17.
So in the process of doing identify and looking at it, you realize what this is. It's in like storybooks. You've actually heard of it before, like in passing of like, I'm Church and I'm bored and I'm like, oh, this is a thing, I can read this. You actually remember this. This is a wickerhidge. This is like, parents say the wickerhidge is gonna come and get you to get kids to go to bed at night. And it's here. This is a real honest to God wickerhidge. And that's weird.
We're just gonna look around. Look for any signs of movement or recent activity, like was this thing standing here for a long time, or are there recent tracks of it traveling here, or has it been standing here
Make a
for...
survival check.
Crap. Oh no! Oh, my survival's not bad. I'm gonna also guidance myself again. Yeah, I needed that.
You have Bardic Inspiration?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna use it. I'm gonna use my inspiration because I'm gonna lose it if I don't.
Yep.
So D6. What is? Oh, I got a max. What do I get for using it for an ability check?
Yes, your special thing that you get for this one is for ability checks. You can roll that again and then choose which roll to use.
Well,
But
I
you
rolled
already
the
used
6.
the 6.
I'm gonna take the
so
6.
Think you're gonna take the 6.
That's a 17. Actually, wait. Yeah, 17.
Yeah, there's no tracks. Other than the small ones that were made as it started to shift.
It's been here a while then. So, can I look at its feet or what its feet and like, can I tell that it's been embedded in the dirt for a while and
It's a
things
lot
have
of
like
dirt,
grown around it?
moss, plants grown around the feet.
Can I pick up the lantern that the little eyes were coming out of?
Mm-hmm.
And can I like examine it?
It's also woven of wicker. It's actually woven into the hand. So when you pick it up, you like pick up half of the body that continent cut through.
I will turn to the archaeologist and be like, is this something that was normal for this time period that this village was?
I imagine you turn and see Kaka and Mo standing together like two kids that have to go pee. Just like, yeah.
Kind of just deflate a little and go like, and I'll put down the body and just be like, Caecia, I suggest that us and the Wicker Killer should go walk the perimeter and allow these two to do their work.
Upon hearing that kind of title, he's been shaken up, but then he hears like Wicker Killers, like, yes, he like straightens his back. He kind of you can actually see a slight blush, like kind of he's really excited to hear that title, like the Wicker Killer. Yes, indeed.
How old does this guy look again?
Yeah, how old is Conton?
He's like 22 or 23. I'm not. What's
Jesus.
what's the high and low on like what was the age of adults for?
That's like
halflings?
a high teenager for halflings.
Oh, god damn it.
It's like 17 in human years.
So yeah, he's like 22 basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Damn it.
Okay.
Wicker Killer, how are you looking for help?
He's alright.
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm at I think it was 28 out of 23.
Yeah, he's missing 5 hit points.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm only missing 3.
I could actually.
Um,
I could also just use.
I think I want to take a helping role here using my Velociraptors to kind of disassemble, hold up things for the inspection to Mo. But I'm gonna defer this to Mo. I actually,
Oh dear.
I mean, but it's a good freeze. If he was
might
gonna.
never know this, but Kakaako, classically trained. He's not history proficient. Never spent a day, even a long minute, in school of any kind. It's not like he comes from the school of hard knocks, but he's more like a enthusiast. He definitely introduces himself as an anthropologist, a word he heard. And he does a lot of anthropology, but he's not actually like history trained, and he's not actually like intelligent. So he is lots
Is it kind of like Mary Anning? The fossil chick?
I'm not familiar, sorry.
There was like a woman who's like a self-taught paleontologist who just taught herself all about paleontology by just scouring a beach she grew up nearby for fossils, and is like, I'm not joking, this is a real person. She's from like the 1700s.
I mean, that sounds exactly right, down to the interest in paleontology in particular. I got a Wikipedia article open for later, but that's exactly right. Self-taught, mostly paleontology. Totally.
Definitely.
There's just no background for paleontology.
Would you guys like to excavate this site?
I got some helpers. I got Mage Hand, just to sort of mechanically show that my Velociraptors can lift things. I've got an abundance of Mage Hands to pull at things, work on that some.
The fighters and the tanks are going to maintain a perimeter and like make sure no one messes with the tiny excavators.
The short nerds are over here.
Short nerds. So because you guys are proficient in archaeology and that sort of aspect of your backgrounds, you actually don't need to do rolls or things with this. You actually know, based on the traditional way that Anthocurian houses are constructed, there's usually to the back of the house there's a cellar. That's normally what happens. So you kind of search the mid part of the wall and stuff like that, and you're like, ooh, bricks! Ooh, these are so great, these are time period bricks! And like, as the tanks complete their perimeter and they come over, they're just sort of looking at each other like, really, we're here for bricks? And then you're just like, oh, maybe, okay, yeah. And so you go back to where the cellar is, and you start to do a little bit of digging, and then you hit something. And you keep digging. There's a door. Like a stone slab kind of door.
I think that the nerds will await one tank to come back. I'll send a raptor to fetch them. I have a journal with actual paper in it from my background, and I'm more than happy at any time to send little scraps of paper in a raptor fist over to somebody and have them bring it up. They are always annoyingly crumpled, like still legible, but like totally just got to undo the whole ass ball. But you're able to see a little like cum, Kako.
Are there any like specific raptors that like sometimes you hand that one as the errand boy paper and they like stuff it in their mouth before going to find us? And then the one raptor we have to take it out of the mouth and it's covered in spit too?
I think that Screech is the dumbest of all the raptors, so he's the one I can't trust with any of these kind of tasks.
Damn it, Screech.
Did I just say the same thing?
Which one of us would like to go accompany the short nerds to the creepy door?
I'll go. I'm good at doors.
So it's not a vertical door, it's like a trap door.
Oh, that's even worse.
Like that.
I think I'll insist on not. I won't be messing with the door, but I'm gonna be like 10 feet away, like watching.
Sean, I have a question. I think the answer is no, but I just want to hear it from you. I have through my race, I have silent speech and can speak telepathically. Through my class feature, I have these little friends that can go at distance. Could I send a Velociraptor through and then talk to it telepathically to have it, like, I more think that I can issue them orders, like, I don't think that they're at the
Correct.
familiar level where they're like, I see two guards.
Correct.
One has
Yes,
the sword."
they don't have the intelligence capacity. They're primal spirits. They don't have that ability to cognosate at all. They just so you can tell them do the thing and they'll be able to do it. But if you ask them what's going on, it's literally just going to be a mental.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I'd say we try and pry it open and see what's inside. I got my longbow held action, pin cushion, something if needed.
Who's opening?
I've got a little torch. I'm far back.
Same.
Church, actually, before we do this, Church is going to ask for a couple minutes, and he's going to ritual cast Detect Magic. And then he will approach, get within 30 feet of the trapdoor, and hold action to Eldritch Blast.
1 second here.
Is this a heavy door? More than like 5-10 pounds?
You're not sure. It's you excavated down to what looks like a stone trap door with like a hole where a rope would have once gone. That's obviously long rotted away.
Well, then before anyone actually like badass opens the door, there's probably a failed attempt of a Velociraptor who can only move 5 pounds to try and.
So you do sense magic.
Oh, what do I sense?
Just down and behind the door, there is
get school?
one very faint source of magic.
What type of magic is it?
Cool.
Sorry. Because I can tell the school.
I never know. The schools are so complex for me as a DM. I always have to like open up a spell book and like, that's enchantment?
Same.
Conjuration?
If it's necromancy.
Transmutation.
Oh
Okay.
shit. Okay. That's not what I was
Okay.
hoping for.
Okay, as long as it's not necromancy.
Honestly, I don't know. I know
So
what
it is not.
Better.
So it's not on the door. Yes.
Correct. It's just underneath and behind.
So it's nothing. So I will notify everyone else. There appears to be a source of transmutation magic behind the door. We may wish to exercise caution when opening it.
And it's very small. It says that you have a faint aura around it. It's about maybe the size of. It's maybe like 8 inches across. 8 by 4 inches.
Possibly an item.
Wait, can we open this door at all?
No one's tried.
We're a little scared too, apparently.
Someone open the door. I'm just gonna send a Velociraptor in.
Duncan-
I can tell it to go grab the thing. I just can't. see
Yeah.
from it.
All right,
What?
I'm
I
gonna
will.
send in my messenger.
I will guidance. I will guidance you, Caecia, when you go open the door.
Thank you, Church.
I'll be like,
And I gotta head out in a second here. But
Yeah.
I'd like to send a Velociraptor in to go grab this item with the best of their ability.
Yeah. So do you lift up the door?
I am standing away from it, by the way.
As you lift up the door,
Caecia.
a bunch of dirt falls around it, and the stone lifts up. And there's not a passage underneath. It's just like soil. Loose soil, but soil. It looks like, the way that the stones are set, it looks like it's kind of curving in, like the structure partially collapsed inside.
Is
If only we had an earth excavator.
the source of the magic in the dirt?
It is.
Church will turn. It's like, can your small creatures dig?
My small creatures, I was just checking that. They have no dig ability at all. I mean, they can dig a small amount at a time, but they're not particularly.
Church will turn to Caecia. I made you a new shovel. Did you happen to bring it?
No.
Sorry, Church. Can't say that I did bring a
Did bring that pike you
on
did
this
like a front
combat
flip off of.
mission.
It is loose dirt. Perhaps we could unearth whatever is down there.
Yeah, I gotta
Church,
put
you
the
wanna
helper.
hold
I'm
this
happy
for
to-
me? You wanna hold the?
Yeah, a church will hold the door open.
Totally. And it's not on a
Okay.
hinge, actually. It's literally just like
Oh.
a stone that the hinges have eroded away. So when you pick it up,
Oh.
you can just
You're just gonna chuck it
let
away.
it drop over, yeah.
Okay, Caecia figuratively rolls up her sleeves and starts just like.
Church is gonna
Yeah.
back
Oh,
it.
I'm
About
happy
like
to
6
provide.
inches underneath the dirt, your hand hits something. Feels like cloth.
Okay. I keep digging around it because I don't like super want to just grab whatever possibly cursed item this is.
Sure.
So I'm just trying to like get some more space in there so that the historians can go.
We'll say,
Check it
for the
out.
sake of brevity, as you have skilled archaeologists with you, you're actually able to excavate to a portion where you see what looks like a hand holding the bag, like a skeletal hand that's very weathered.
Oh, that's not good.
And then another hand that is off to the side, almost like it was trying to push up against the bottom of the stone.
That's not good. However many paleontological tips was helpful during this process, you got 2 more than that, or maybe 3 more than that. But that's super cursed.
Church is going to kneel and like very gently place like 2 fingers on the skeletal hands and will pray for their souls.
Roll a
side-eye-
religion check.
I side eye what Church is doing and try to copycat it because I'm still in
16.
training.
16.
16.
He will show them as much respect as possible.
Good to know.
I wonder what I wonder what one would look like on that.
And Church is going to speak out loud as if the skeletons are still alive, and will say, "Please pardon our interruption. I hope we did not interrupt your rest. If you don't mind, we would like to inspect what you have in your hand here. We do apologize." And we'll reach down and do I see the source of the magic now?
It is. It's like a clasp, like a clasp bag, like a small handbag. Very nicely made, woven.
He will
with a
very
silver clasp and
yeah.
an eagle as a part of the clasp.
He will very gently, without breaking apart any of the hands, at least like try and keep the hands as intact as possible. Will extract the bag.
Yeah, you're able to. You grab it. And
Okay.
since you still have detect magic up, this is the source of the magic.
Can I identify this?
It is a clasp of holding.
Of holding. Not
It's a
familiar.
very small bag of holding.
I will.
It is not cursed.
I am going to walk towards a kind of open area and crouch and then turn it inside out. What dumps out?
A beautiful silver knife, dagger, falls out. A total of a bunch of rubies, a very nice golden ring, and a scrap of paper.
Oh.
As well as some coins that look very, very old.
What's the paper say?
So
And I very gently.
you cannot read this paper.
What language is it, sir?
It is
I've got a bunch of-
Proto-Antikyran.
Proto-Ambicuran.
God, I have 4 languages, but none of those.
I would like
I
to
have
read
2
it.
languages. No.
I hand it to Mo.
This is a letter where someone is writing down their last thoughts because they can't escape. Because to their lover, they're so sorry. The door is too heavy. I can't get out. Everything is collapsing around us. It feels like the world is breaking. I'm so sorry. I love you.
Is it signed? Is there a name?
No, there's no signature.
Church.
Ruby coins, silver knife that's non-magical.
Oh, the knife is magical.
Ooh, tell us.
Can I identify the knife?
This is a silver dragonfly knife.
Dragonfly knife.
It's a magical dagger, and as a bonus action, you may cast Jump on yourself a number of times per day equal to your dex modifier. And when you hit a critical hit, a burst of green and silver dragonflies come out of the wound.
Okay.
Kurt will like very gingerly like
Yourself.
will kind of look around. Is like, this is a dex-based weapon.
I know I've been greedy because I'm holding the note too, but throw my name into the bowl.
I see no reason why Mo can't have this, though I imagine Caecia would also find it useful.
A dex,
Caecia kind of scratches her head looking at it, and she'll offer to take it and like give it like a few like experimental twirls. She is pretty good with dexterity stuff, but she goes to hand it to Mo handle first and just be like, "Let me know if you change your mind about being within 5 feet of monsters."
You know,
I'll just put out my +2 to hit and damage with ranged weapons, but I don't need it for those.
Actually, Church will be like, I imagine the jump aspect is going to be far more useful to Mo in terms of weapon use. You are not. You tend to hide in trees, I'm guessing.
I'm only jumping away, friends. Like,
Goodbye.
The jump
Church will-
aspect was that it makes you jump far.
It triples your jump
times.
distance.
Well, doesn't that mean she could like leap between trees? Given the
Yeah, that's what I was
situation?
kind of thinking.
Yeah.
3 times per long.
We'll be able to figure out more of
It's
this.
a number of times equal to your dex modifier.
I think that people need to get
4
going,
times.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
this
That's
is a
fine.
good stopping point. We can talk about the treasure and stuff afterwards, but we thank everyone who is watching for joining us here. You are all very much appreciated, and please stay safe, stay inside, and be well. And we'll see you hopefully soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ah.